Yo, can you hear me? There it is.
I hear you.
Am I all? Wait, I think the replay has like chipmunks or something like sound. We got chipmunks. Can you guys hear me now? We got some sound.
Yeah, I hear some chirping every now and then.
All right. It's okay. We're live. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear J-Dub?
Yo, everybody.
Let's see. Wait, the stream went down and went back up. I just went live again. Let's see.
Okay.
I went crazy on my soundboard. Well, hold on. Let me see if it's back up. Now it's refreshing. It's like chipmunks or something like sound bite. We got some.
Yeah, I hear.
All right, can you guys hear me? Mic check, 1, 2. I know JW can hear me. Can the chat hear me? We had some chipmunks invading the stream. Let's see. I don't know. The stream keeps going. What the hell's going on? There we go. All right. It looks like we'll. Oh, wait a second. Uh-oh.
It stopped.
Yeah, I think the stream stopped. Hold on. I don't think we're live anymore. That sucked. Oh, what the hell that chipmunk shit was. Oh, yeah, we're back. Let's see. I don't know. The stream keeps going. All right, we're back. Sorry, guys. There's 2 streams. Yes, I ended the other one to start another one. So like and share this one out. We're back in. This stream is working. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but hey, snow and ice, goddammit. We're here. Let's see. This is the one. The live stream. Just gonna tweet this one out. That's the one. All right, so make sure you share that one out. We're good now? Everybody can hear me? You're all back. Yep, we're migrating over, guys. We're migrating over.
I'm trying to use the phone!
Phil shut down our first stream. We got him. We got back up. But anyway, so welcome, everybody, to the Gaming Grindhouse, Episode 6. NPDs and Better Call Phil. Phil Goodman. That's what I have to call him. But anyway, I would like to welcome our guest here. Like that one? I was thinking that one. I would like to our guest here. We're waiting on frogs, but we got a special guest here, J-Dubs from the frozen tundra of the state of Texas. How are you doing, Jay?
Facts, man. Extremely cold, but it's okay, man. It's okay. I'm doing pretty good.
That's good,
No
man.
complaints.
Yeah, man. Seeing the snow, the tools. Yes, we got the tools and we fixed the stream. Phil came through with the tools. He asked for a tool belt for Christmas. We got it, and we're good to go. So one thing I want to start off while we're waiting here on the frogs, I wanted to just kind of get into what we're playing and things like that, and then we'll get into the GrindsBoard. What's up, Game Night? What's up, Cyber Dragon and Salty? Nick, True Virgil, D Almighty. I know D. I'm sorry, man. What was going on? They got the chipmunks in there. It was awesome. It was my chipmunk stream. Phil was trying to use your phone. That's right. It was interference from Phil Spencer. So what I wanted to get into, guys, man, they're just going crazy in the chat. So one thing I wanted to get into was we've been playing. So as you saw from my streams earlier the week on my channel, I got to play the Pathless. I'm going to do a little review of that as the one topic on the GrindsBoard, which I'll get into a little depth about the Pathless. And then I played some Control, because that was free with PlayStation Plus. And then I also played, what was the other game? I'm going to start Phoenix Rising. I know, Jay, you played Phoenix Rising, right?
Yep.
How is it?
I love it. That. Yeah. I love it.
You like that game?
Yep.
That's a good, okay. Because I have it in the plastic. I haven't started it yet. But that's kind of like my next game. Like playing the Pathless, I was like, I'm into that kind of art style now, and I'm just going to go right from there into Phoenix Rising into that one. I also played.
You're gonna like it.
All right, good, because I'm interested in it. The other game I did was Destruction All Stars, and I know that got everybody was going wild on with the Metacritics and all that fun Metacritic scores and stuff. But to be honest, what I played, I've been going back to it. I know they added some challenges and stuff like that to it. And the biggest gripe I have with that game is just the progress of leveling up. I think that the characters are on point. They got some awesome abilities. The graphics are sharp. And it is fun. I just think it needs more game modes and more progression, because I'm not really excited about the unlocks and things like that. But I think it's a pretty good game for what it is. Like, if it was $70, there'll be another story to tell. But like the fact that you can't buy it anywhere and it's only in PlayStation Plus, I think it's a perfect game for that right now. But
Yeah.
but what did you think about it? What's up, Jemiah?
Again, I love the game. It's free.
Yeah.
It's a multiplayer game, beautiful graphics, solid frame rate. The damage, it's a mixture. It's a mixture of, I would say, a Twisted Metal, Destruction Derby, and a couple other games that you can kind of throw in there. I like the game.
Yeah, I think it's not
And
bad.
and one thing, the developer did say that they're going to be supporting this for quite some time. So hey, you can't beat free.
No, man, you can't be free. And the other thing too is that I think we're gonna get into it when we talk about service games, and it's definitely something I alluded to earlier today on my grinds my gears, where this whole concept of what a service game is, and kind of like Microsoft's definition of what a service game is, and really kind of what a service game should be. And this game is launching in a service. This game cannot be purchased yet. It's going to be in a service for 3 months, and not to give it the excuse of it, but the thing is that it's a pretty compelling game for what it is right now, and they need to have some more game modes. And I gotta say one thing too is that I think that they improved a little bit of the latency that was online from when it first launched, because I was playing some more last night of it. And I tell you, it is unique in the ability that it does merge a lot of different games together. I like getting out of the cars and, having the abilities of the characters. I just think that they need to have some sort of game modes, like more game modes. I think one, and some of them they actually have in the single player, or like in the challenges. One is where you have to transport somebody hanging onto your car. And I think that would be a crazy mode for like capture the flag, or if you have to transport a driver to the other side, like a goal, almost like Rocket League, but you got to transport somebody driving and they got to smash into you to knock the driver loose. And the only way they could cross into the goal is if you are hanging onto a car. So I think that would be a cool thing, because I know there's something like that, but they need to add some more stuff to the multiplayer. But it's pretty. And the biggest thing I have to say is that it's polished. It's not one of these kind of like in preview games. That's the one thing I did have to say. Like, it is really damn polished. Like, it is not. It is not like glitchy and going through walls.
It's not buggy. And they're not looking to make any excuses for having crappy running game. It's a fully developed game, and they have a bunch of content that they're going to roll out on it. Because it whether you like it or not, it is a services type game. It's a game that needs to have legs, and so they're gonna, who knows? I think I would like for them to add weapons and stuff like that on some of the vehicles.
That would be awesome.
If you add some guns or something like that, I mean that'll.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll change some things.
Yeah, if they had like some power ups and stuff like that on the ground, like for shooting and stuff like that, that would be really awesome. So, I do think that. Was there anything else you've been playing?
I have been playing Hitman 3.
Oh yes, I played that.
Hitman 3. Again, the Destruction All Stars. What else? Apex Legend on PC. I know the PS5 just got a patch for that, so I think it's 1440p, 120 or something like that. So I'm gonna have to try it there. What else? Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm trying to finish that. I got a little bit more to go for that.
I dropped that one quick.
Yeah, I'm sticking through it. But believe it or not, I have been playing Ori Will of the Wisp. I'm loving that game. Maybe 12, 13 hours in.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a difficult game, but it stuck with me. It's a beautiful game. I'm playing it at 120 frames a second.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Uh,
Yeah, I tried it last year on my like it came out. I had my Game Pass. Played at the
yeah, I
120
love
frames.
those like hard puzzle brain teaser type games. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I tell you, and it looks incredible. And actually, what I did was I played it on PC, and then I played it on the Series X, and yeah, it is like that is one of their that game is really like that whole Metrovania type. Like you get abilities to access other areas and stuff like that to come back to them. But the sound, the music, like it had this. Oh, we're gonna say it. It's kind of that polish that you don't expect from an Xbox
yeah.
game. Oops, did I say that?
E-
Did I say that, Arnold?
Relax. You've been erased.
exactly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like that is some nice polish right there. But so with the after we've been playing, so let me see. I guess Frog's all right. I guess Frog might be incognito. Anyway, we'll hold it down with the special guest J Dubs, and we're gonna start getting right into the Grindhouse. Here we go. So, we're going to go right into our topics right now. So, with that, I'm going to pull up the GrindsBoard. Yeah, I'm just doing the next one. The GrindsBoard. Here it is. Hit the wrong button. Yes. Here we go. All right. So let's put up this GrindsBoard right here of what our topics are going to be. Wrong one. Hold the phone. Here we go. I put up big letters this time. Yes, we got a lot of special effects going on this show. So I made it big this time so you guys can see. Yo, what's up, Link? Jump on in if you're ready for the topics. I got that Sony production team. That's right, man. I got that. I got all the interludes. We're ready, man. We got it. The GrindsBoard is up finally. So these are the topics we're going to talk about. Not that one. We're going to talk about the Pathless review, the Blackout PS5, Control on the PS5, Xbox news rumor about the 60 frames per second that might be out on Wednesday, the January NPDs, and then the topic of the night, if you haven't heard the pre-show, is going to be Halo and the future of games. Because they had a couple of Phil Ness cancellations and just stopping of stuff. And I think we need to talk about it. So with that, let me start with the first thing, my Pathless review. So, well, first of all, J-Dub, I don't think you played the Pathless yet, right? You didn't play the Pathless yet?
I have not played it yet. Again, I'm
All right.
perfect timing for your review because
Yeah.
I want to know should I pull that trigger or not.
Sounds good. Well, I'm going to have it running right. I'm not going to show that one because that one shows the end game. Let's do this one. So I want to have some sort of background here for everybody. And let's see if that works. And yeah, so anyway, so with the thing with the Pathless, it I just want to make sure I don't have a boss fight here. Let me get over here. So it has a lot of different elements in it. But it gives me the feeling, and right off the bat, and this is like a perfect. I found, and I must have said it about 5 billion times on the stream. Is it reminded me a lot of like the whole like Shadow of Colossus type, Zelda-esque type feel where it's this open world. Hold on, let me get my display up here. Hold on, I'm just working here. I need a. I don't know why my display capture is. Hold the phone. Yeah, we have technical difficulties tonight because I thought my display. I don't see my display capture going on here.
That's Phil, man.
Yo, man, Phil got me here with all this stuff here. There it is. Sorry about that. I was hitting. I have too many icons here. I hit the button. So yeah, I just wanted to have the gameplay running in the background as I'm playing, as I'm talking about it. So like the thing is about the Pathless is that it is this feel of Shadow of the Colossus, and whereas you kind of build up to these big boss fights of the different elements of creatures that have been taken over by the Pathless, who's that Doom guy. He has black and 3 red eyes, and he turns everything to red, and he takes their souls, and he's just destruction, man. He's the God Slayer. And your whole thing is to really gather up from puzzles these gems, these icons, and then you take them to the towers to unlock the towers. And you unlock 3 towers in an area, and then you build up to fight the boss. Now, the cool things that you've been seeing throughout the game, and I'm going to get into this stuff, the cool things that you do is the transversal of it, and that's what everybody's been seeing. And the way it works is that you utilize the icons that are on the field. And when they're on the field, you basically shoot them with your arrow, and it gives you a speed boost. Because if you don't have that turbo, and that's that bar at the bottom, you kind of walk real slow, and you want to transverse throughout the whole level, and you want to speed around there. The cool thing is that there's this big storm, and that's what I'm showing in here with the storm. There's this monstrous storm that floats around the area as you're trying to find the puzzle areas to unlock the medallions, the little puzzles. There's this storm that just kind of goes around the big area of the map. And if you get in the storm, the creature, the boss, is in there, and you got to do kind of another mini game where you have to find your eagle. And once you find your eagle, you could get out of this storm. But the enemy keeps respawning with spotlights, and he checks you out, and if he catches you, he kicks you out, and you lose some of your leveling up stuff. And what your leveling up stuff gems do is they give you boost for your eagle. So you get this eagle, and I think it's pretty awesome is that every time your eagle gets hit with this red stuff, you have to clean them off, and have to use the analog stick and clean that Phil Ness off them, that dirty stuff. You got to clean the stuff off him, and then he gets he's ready to go. And he actually makes you fly. You could float and stuff like that. So the transversal is really awesome, but the music, the sound effects, and also the way the DualSense works with the game, you feel the arrow when you're pulling it. You feel the rumbling of the creature walking around in these areas that's very tense. But the music and the art style, absolutely awesome. As you build up to each of these boss fights, the boss fights usually come in 3 sequences. They come in one where you chase them down, so you use the transversal, and then you go into another area where you have a showdown. And there's different stages in that showdown. And you constantly always have an arrow, and you use your eagle. And the scalability, as you can see here, is just the scaling of how big and vast everything is. It does have that Shadow Colossus feel, mixed in with The Last Guardian, mixed in with Zelda and the type of these things. So I really think the game was awesome. And this is like a puzzle right here where you have to shoot the arrow into these different puzzles and to unlock that gem, and then you could take it to the tower. But first off, the one thing though that I would say, and it's been the conversation for the last couple of weeks, is the pricing. When this game launched, I believe it was $49.99. It's $50. The one knock on this whole thing is that it's a short game. I finished it in about 6 hours. So you fight the 4 or 5 bosses. You fight the main boss, and you call it a day. There's some secrets. There's some leveling up. It's a pretty easy platinum, which I didn't get the platinum, but from what I heard and what it looked like is that you just go through it again, kind of do little skill jumps and things like that to get the platinum. There's nothing real crazy about it, but that's the one thing. And I would say if you could get it on sale, I think now it's on sale for like $37, $36. I would say
I've seen it as cheap as $29.99.
That's how I got it. I got it physically at GameStop. I waited outside. They only have a lot of physical copies of it. And I got it.
Yeah.
If you could get it for $29.99, it is awesome. You would be amazed at the level of polish. Like, you'll say this is an indie. These are one of those indies games where it's like, it's one of those ones that kind of cross it. Like, this game, the polish, there's no glitches that I came across. No kind of indie aspect at all. It has that amazing, the production of it is incredible, and the music, and I tell you, it is some real powerful music. And they do the same type of like discussion, like they talk in tongues. They're like goo ga goo ga goo ga, and then like at the bottom it says like, I'm the Pathless, you're my bitch. You know what I mean? Like, they do that talk and stuff like that, which again, it made me feel like a lot of those kind of like Journey, those type of games where that the guys that made Shadow of Colossus, what was that, Team Eco, or they made Last Guardian, Team Eco. They make those kind of stuff. Team Ico, yeah. So I would recommend this game wholly. It is definitely, I think it's the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and I believe it's on the Apple Game Store. It's an Apple game as well, which I don't know how this will work with touch, but I would recommend to play this with the PlayStation 5 controller, because the little rumbling and you feel all the different footsteps, and when you get into the grind of that transversal where you're hitting those icons right there and getting that boost and floating and zipping across the field and stuff like that, like what I'm doing here, it's a pretty good feeling. Like, it's a rhythmic feeling. And that's it. There's no other creatures to fight and stuff. Like, really, it's just the bosses. So that's where that Shadow Colossus. But I would definitely wholeheartedly recommend it if you could find it on sale. I wouldn't pay $40 to $50 for it unless you really need something to play. I would say if you get it less than $40, I think it'll be an excellent buy. And yeah, it is polished. Again, another one of these polished games that does show the from streaming and stuff. I think a lot of people like the art style and the way it just pops off the screen. Really is awesome. Like, it's not no Demon Souls graphics of like textures and stuff, but it does really well, and I would totally recommend it there. So, if I don't think if you try it, definitely. And I'll tell you one thing too, in the physical version that I got, it actually came, I almost fell out of my chair. I opened it up and there were like 7 cards of like concept art. They were like index cards. I was like, what the hell's this? I'm like,
okay,
yeah, man. I was like, damn. So I kept I was like, oh, this is good. Like, I know like some of those things, but hey, it's something. They usually open those things up. There's like nothing out there. I returned I'll tell you something crazy. I traded in some friggin' what was it? The Switch games. Man, I don't know where the cases are. I put those things in a Ziploc bag and I gave it to him. It was like friggin' gold dust, man. I gave 2 games in there. They're like $70 in credit. I'm like, holy crap.
Yep.
Those little chips, man, they're like $30 a shot when you trade those things.
Exactly. Exactly.
But wholeheartedly, I recommend the Pathless, and definitely, move on from that. But I know J-Dubs, we don't have too much discussion. I thought Frog played it, but he's not on. I'm not sure if. Link's on. Hey, Link, did you play the Pathless?
Oh yeah, I have the Pathless.
Oh, what'd you think about
I
it?
haven't beat it. I really like it. I like the art style. I like the gameplay mechanics. I just beat the first boss, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Which one? The salamander guy?
The first one. The 4-legged thing that turned into a deer or something like that?
Yes, the deer. Yep, the deer.
Yeah, so I beat that.
Get to a boss fight.
Some of the little puzzles are a little challenging, but it's a really good indie game. I mean, it looks a lot better than something like the Falconeer. So.
Oof! Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Oof. That's rough. Like, here's the boss fight here. I'll just show you the sequence. Like, so you chase down the boss with this, and they shoot fireballs at you, man. It's like crazy. And then once you slow him down, then you get into the arena. I'll just show you this, just kind of a sneak peek. I don't want to spoil anything, but like, you get into this arena and you fight, and it is just massive, and it is wild, man. And then there's like different sequences. There's one where they kind of turn it on its head, where you have to like do some platforming and hiding and sneaking while he's shooting at you and stuff. So I just want to just throw those little sneak peeks in there. But man, I would definitely recommend that game because that game is really good. But did you get it for full price, Link?
No, I bought it on sale. I think $29.99.
Yeah, that's the way to go. That's the way to go for that. Let me get the make sure I got the right one here. So the next topic we got on this thing, let me just make sure I got my right one, is the Blackout PlayStation 5. Did you anybody see this?
I saw it.
I have not seen it.
All right, I'm going to show it on my thing then. J-Dub, what do you think about this thing?
It looks awesome, man. I'm gonna be honest. I can't wait to get the shell, to transform mine. But at the same time, I do think Sony went the right path with the white casing. Everybody's gonna do they're gonna customize their own. They're gonna buy the different shells and slap skins and all kind of stuff on there. The Blackout looks crazy. I've seen people with carbon fiber, strictly black, some with the Spider-Man theme, Iron Man theme, stuff like that. But I still kind of always want the white shell, the original shell. It just, I don't know. I've seen the black and I've seen the white, and I think the way it is, to me, ultimately, from a retail standpoint, it knocks it out the park.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. Like I think exactly what you said. Like I do think that their ability to add the customizations, not just being stickers, but actually the fact that you could remove these plates and put them on there. I was even thinking you could take a black and a white and kind of have like a different sides of it and stuff like that. Like you could do pretty much anything. Like I've seen people take these things off and like just draw on them or wrap them or do something with them and put them back on. The fact that this is customizable out of the box, I think is a huge thing that really doesn't get enough per se. Like I really think that it should get more credit than what it is, because I remember the big deal the 360 faceplates were. Like I thought those were cool, but this actually transforms the whole console. Yeah. Like, so Unbox Therapy did it. I think he showed it over. It's at, what was the website he said it was? It's D-Brand. Well, they're on back order right now. Yeah, D-Brand. And then you could get the matte, you could get the different vinyls for the middle section. And what's cool is that they actually did some engraving too into the panels themselves, where they have the X's and O's, the PlayStation signs, but they added characters into them, so they probably didn't get copyrighted on it. I think he shows it here. But yeah, you just pop them off and pop them on, and yeah, man, awesome. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see where they go with it, because I really do think that once they get these friggin' consoles out there, I think then we can start having fun, with that kind of stuff. Because I think right now it's just too much for them to kind of do all this now, where they trying to get these consoles out there, but then to start to sell the custom stuff. But just imagine, like when a game comes out, they get $40. You could buy new panels for your system that goes along with the game. I've seen some people actually add like 3D things to it and stuff like that, because there's so many things you could do. The fact that you remove them, there's so many things you could do to it. Like you could, you don't have to like send your PS5 through a scanner or something like that. You could just take off the plastic. So
exactly.
It's really awesome. I would definitely say, I went to the website to see, but yeah, they're back ordered on that one. But yeah, I thought that he called it the Batman edition. It was like all the stealth version, but man, it's so cool.
It's literally like you would do like a wrapping on your car. If you do a wrap, for those of you guys that know that's exactly what it's like. So
yeah, well, actually, these panels are they model them and they're basically black. Like they're not even wrapped. Like they are just black. They were swat them out, and it's amazing how easily that comes off. Because the only mod I did, and shout out to BitCloud and to Blaze 4K. they sent me to this website where I was able to get the vinyl stickers for the lights. So I put the lights on inside the console so that it does the PlayStation color lights when it turns on. They're like $10, and I put these stickers on them. But yeah, I take the panels off to make sure that you get it on the LEDs, and it's just they're just vinyl stickers that actually in a way where it makes the light from the PlayStation not blue or not white. It actually makes it all different rainbow colors, and it's pretty cool when it's standing up because it reflects to the inside of it. But yeah, I think the customization of the PlayStation 5, this is just the beginning. And when I saw that, I was like, dude, this is just the beginning of what they're gonna do to this console. Yep. And the customization.
Think about the theme.
Yeah.
Think about the let's say the God of War theme one or the Horizon theme one. I think the reason we haven't seen the stuff yet is obviously because they're still trying to get the regular systems into the hands of customers, and so maybe next year. I think next year will be a good time frame to start dropping the theme consoles.
Yeah, I think so. I think theme console, but again, they don't even need to sell the theme consoles, and that's what's so awesome about it is that they could just sell the themed panels.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the awesomest thing about it because they could just sell the panels, so you don't have to keep like I have a Star Wars PlayStation, I have a Spider-Man PlayStation, I had the Destiny PlayStation, and it's just like oh, that's such a cool PlayStation, but I don't want to buy another $400 thing. But if I could buy another like $50 panel to celebrate the game or something like that, that's awesome because then you could just swap them out and do them. So like you don't have to keep buying a bunch of consoles every single time, $400-500 every single time they come out with a custom one. I know people do, but it's cool that you don't have to do that. So I think that it's really neat, and I think the customization really can't wait. Now the other problem I noticed when I took off my thing is that M.2 drive. When are they gonna activate that thing? Because I got one. I can't wait to just order one and just plug it right into my PlayStation. So I really hope they talk about that soon. I know we're in February, but let's go. We need to talk about that M.2. But yes, that's right, Aziz. I do think that it's the most customizable console, like at launch. Like I think it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Same thing with the controller. Control same way.
Yeah. I've seen people take their controllers apart. They either spray paint it, plastic dip, or wrap it or something like that, and the controller. I mean, they have a theme one, I believe. There's a company they do all the customizations and stuff like that of the skins. Anyway, they sold like a PS2 themed controller, so you have the colored buttons, the gray like the circles and triangles. Yeah, I think that would be dope. I would love to get a couple of those.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I've seen people, and you could actually order them on Amazon. They're $10. You could pop off the black piece on the PlayStation controller and replace it with a blue, a red, a gold. They're $10 on Amazon. You could just buy a piece and you could just pop it off. I tried popping mine. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know about the popping off, but they show in the video it looks pretty easy. You just pop that black piece off, and then you could just put any color in there. But again, really clever on how they did that. Like I love that PlayStation 5 controller. The next thing I wanted to talk about is control on the PS5. I know we got that for the PlayStation Plus. For PlayStation Plus, you got that for the Ultimate Edition, so it's the one with all the upgrades and with stuff in that one. So, have you went back? Have you beat the Control, and have you played it again? That's the question.
I've played Control. Yeah. I have it Control on PC, and I have it on PlayStation. For some reason, I just couldn't get into it. But when it came on the PS5, and I think last week before last.
Yeah, it was like
I played it. Those frames really make a big difference.
Yes,
I'm not gonna lie, man. Jeez, it's a night and day. It's a night and day. I mean, I would just. It's just something about it. I couldn't get into it, and then once I played this one with the 60 frames, it was buttery smooth. The action was exactly where I needed to be, and I'm at the end of it. So yeah, nice. I should be beating it tonight.
Yeah, they still didn't fix the map in the ultimate version.
Yeah, that map is trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Map
Link.
trash.
Did you play? Did you beat it or play it?
I really like Control. I finished it on PS4. I did download the Ultimate Edition, and I have been playing it. It was plagued by a lot of frame rate issues on the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna play all. I wanted to play all the DLC, but I just didn't want to have to get the upgrade, have to buy it again. So it was nice that they put it in Plus. So I have been playing it, and I will complete it.
Nice. Yeah, I went through that frame rate nightmare on the PlayStation 4 Pro and beat it. I didn't finish the DLCs because I got that was one of the things I was pissed off about, like this whole Ultimate Edition where they want another $40 for a game, even though I bought the Game of the Year. I bought when it launched with the season pass and everything. Yeah, everything, like the full version with the 3 DLCs and everything, because I think it was on sale for 10. It was like 10% off or something like that if you bought that one on PlayStation. For some reason, it was like only $10 more. I was like, yeah, I'll buy it. And then to find out that I had to rebuy it for Ultimate Edition to get the version on the PlayStation 5. That's why I was very pleased to see that they included it. I went through it again, and I have to agree, the frame rate. But one of the things that got me is the sharpness of it, because whatever they did, the resolution and trickery, they removed the fuzz. There was that friggin' Quantum Break Remedy fuzz on that whole entire goddamn game.
Yep.
I don't know what. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard that fuzz. There was a fuzz. And now there's no fuzz.
Yeah.
And she's clear. Her face is clear. Her hair is clear. She doesn't have that kind of weird ass fuzz on her face and on the objects and stuff. And actually, the fact is when you go through the game and all the debris, the destruction model is absolutely incredible. And when you go through the debris and stuff, now that everything looks clearer, it's smoother. I think it really is improved. Now I'm running through the game again, speed running through it. That's the way I've been doing it right now because I beat it already. The story was it was okay, a little confusing. Trying to grasp it on the second time around, now that I know where it goes. But one thing that I'm gonna say, and this is kind of a rant from last week's talking about digital foundry. I think a huge thing that a lot of these kind of analytical bullshit YouTubers talking about, the one thing that they completely omit is the improvement of sound. I have to say, the game sounds incredible. I did this with Pathless. I was saying it. I couldn't believe the 3D audio. I know Xbox has it as well. They have some spatial sound, but I can tell you, I do hear it a lot in the PlayStation, and it reminds me of the stuff that they were doing with the VR, because it's similar to that. But you hear things down and behind you. They hear the sound away and up. The sound has direction. It's not just in front and behind you. It's down and up. In Pathless, I heard it, the waves below, it was behind me, but it was down and below. It wasn't just behind me. And in I tell you, in Control, when you go reach out for that force, and it's and you hear some bullshit getting pulled from behind you, and it's sucked to your hand, and then you spin it forward, man, you hear that shit just come rolling right behind you, coming right to your hand. It's pretty insane. And I'm I don't remember the sound being that powerful when I was playing it on the PlayStation 4 with the same headphones. And when I play on the PlayStation 5, it just seems so much louder and more directional. And I feel that they don't even talk about that. Technical analysis, all they talk about is frame rate and graphics and some bullshit shadows and foliage and shit. But the audio, they just skip over that. They don't even talk about it. Instead, we got to listen to their stupid asses talk over it. That's the problem. They have too much commentary. But that was my last week's rant. But the sound in the game, incredible. I thought I did it's powerful. It gets scared the shit out of me sometimes when I would hit that force thing and pull some shit away.
I agree.
And you hear it go.
I agree.
So the game. Well, the 3D audio is a big deal, being it's implemented at the system
hardware
level,
level.
hardware
Yeah.
level. The
Yeah.
PS4 had 3D audio, but only in select games.
Yes.
Um, so like Naughty Dog games, Ghost of Tsushima, I believe, had it. Um, so it does make a big difference having it at the hardware level.
Yeah, I do think.
Yeah.
Like, I really think the sound, and I've noticed it a lot. Even Sackboy's Adventure, the music in there and the sound effects and stuff.
Oh man, it is. Yeah, it's amazing. And one thing I like that a lot of the third party companies are actually implementing the 3D audio and
Hmm.
haptic feedback and stuff like that
Yes,
in their
everybody.
games.
Everybody that's
Because that
making a
was
PlayStation
something
5.
that everyone, yeah, that was something that everyone would question. Well, it's probably going to be niche because we don't see third party supporting it, and all of them are supporting the haptic feedbacks, and a lot of them are supporting the 3D audio, and it does make a difference, guys. It does. You have to try it to
Hmm.
understand.
Yes, and it works with any headsets, and it works through the controller, and it works
Yeah.
wirelessly with USBs. Now, I use the I think Jay, I don't know if you posted it, but did you just get the
Uh-huh.
Steel Series? You've been using the 9X, right? Is that what you posted on Twitter?
So I have the 9X and I have
Nine
the
seven
PS5
Ps.
headphones,
Oh yeah, the PS5 ones.
the Elite 3D.
Okay.
The 3D, is it
The
Elite? What's the name of the actual PS5
the
headphones?
Pulse, the Pulse ones.
The Pulse.
Yeah.
I keep getting Elite and stuff mixed up. Yeah, but the Pulse 3Ds. Um, and so I have those, and I'm gonna tell you this, man. For $99, those pulses, oh my God, they're amazing. The 3D audio, I don't know if it's just because Sony tailor made those specifically to the PS5, and so it worked a little bit special. But I noticed that the 3D effect in those headphones are better than any other headphones I've tried thus far. I have two pair of Steel Series. I have the Steel Series Wireless Pro, and I
Yes, that's
also
awesome.
have the 9Xs.
Yeah.
So, and again, I've tried various other headphones with the controller and stuff like that, and they sound good. But the 3D audio with Sony's headphones it's second to none. I'm not saying if the bass, I'm not talking about whether you listen to music and the bass and stuff like that. I mean the 3D audio effect. When I'm playing Hitman or when I'm playing, like you said, Sackboy or Dirt 5 or
Oh, their 5 is good sound too.
better yeah, better yet, Spider-Man Miles
Mm.
Morales. Demon Souls by far is the
Oh
game you
my God.
have to
Yeah.
have 3D headset. It's a whole nother layer, man.
Yeah, I would say so I love my Steel Series. I got the 7Ps, the white ones, and I had the Sony Pulses. I agree. Like I think both of them are awesome. I've been looking for the 9. I know T Rock 40 says, shout out T Rock. He said the 9, which is the PlayStation version of the 9Xs. Those I still haven't found those. I saw those on their website. I think they're $200. I'm a headphone junkie, so I got billions of headphones. But I tell you, I love the reason why I went with the Steel Series is that you could plug in your phone and listen to your phone while you're playing as well in the game, so like it doesn't turn off. But I would say the three, and know what else too? The Sony Pulse, the Pulse ones, they did it with their Platinum headsets. Their headsets have they're not flat right to your ear, they're actually angled, and they have the ear cups are angled to your ear, so it feeds the sound to your ear differently than just like right onto your eardrums. It kind of like does that. Oh, my mic is low. Oh, no, why? Because I'm sitting far away from my mic. Sorry, I figured I talk too loud and I don't want to be shouting, but sorry. Thank you, JCat. Thank you. Yeah, so I do think that the directional sound and stuff like that is really incredible. All games on the PlayStation 5, because it's in the hardware, do have the 3D audio with it, and I've just been noticing like some of these games and just the haptics. I know Astrobot was another one where you would feel the movement down the controller, but then you also hear it, and it's really, the directional is really, really powerful, and you can edit that in the settings and stuff like that to make sure that everybody's ear is different for where they hear. If they're at your eardrum or not. And yes, that's right, Gadget Guy. Yes, I did review both. I did review them. I had them on my channel for one of the things. So I did review those headsets. But yeah, I tell you, go listen to that one. I think it's like one of my highest viewed ones with the accessories. But yeah, I love this. I'm a sound junkie. I love immersion, and I'm telling you, with the rumble, and like you were saying, Jay, like the thing is that having the rumble with the triggers and the sound, it does add a different level of immersion. Yeah. Link, which ones do you use? You use which one did you use, Link?
I'm using the Sony, the PS5, the Pulse.
The Pulse.
Yeah, the Pulse. Pulse 3D,
yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I know that they're cool. They're really slick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tell you, that was just a whole side piece on that the sound. But that's one thing that I feel like that the analysts like really don't like talk about this so much with the audio, and in both of them, like the Xbox and the PlayStation. Like I do think, everybody made a big deal about sound, and I do think that that's another area that should be talked about with next generation. And shout out to Carrot ACG, man. He always talks about music, audio, and sound in his reviews, and he really gets into the detail. That's why I always listen to him for his reviews and stuff like that, because he definitely gets into that stuff. I feel like everybody just talks about frame rate and graphics all the time, and not necessarily about the sound and things like that. So now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of that. Guys, hit that like button as we're halfway through the GrindsBoard and we're going to the Grindstable. Hit that share button. We'll share this out. Shout out to Link and J-Dub, our guests tonight. Next topic is this new Xbox news rumor of 60 frames per second in old PC games on Wednesday. There was some tweet by some Spanish insider. Hold on, I got them. They're chanting Phil. They're chanting Xbox, and some insider was talking about it, and then he took the tweet down. But he was saying that there's some news on Wednesday about some backwards compatibility, possibly news where all games are going to be sort of unlocked. They're going to start unlocking games for 60 frames per second. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Xbox needs something, right? They need something right now because they don't have the better version of the multiplats. They don't really have anything at this point that's going for them. So they need something, anything. And with old games being 60 frames a second, will that really just, change anything? Probably not. It won't change anything, especially when we got Ratchet and Clank about to drop, Deathloop and other games on PlayStation, and Nintendo's dropping games. I just, maybe that's good for the fan base. Maybe they love that. I just think it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell, man. Just to get people hyped for stuff that they already played it already. They already did that.
And the thing is, though, I have to say is like, what will be 60 frames per second? Like, we're talking about God of War that just got their update, and with The Last of Us, like these games were these games are like legacy games. These are like hits that you're getting there to dab into the 60 frames. Like, that's where I do think that this reliance on backwards compatibility that Microsoft has, it's like the sins of the past. Like, the thing is like, they really didn't come out with amazing games, and they kind of gave up halfway through the generation to be hyping up games now. Like, the thing is, they didn't use last generation as a huge, like, building up huge libraries of games, sequels, and award-winning, and everybody loved the games, and everybody was like, it's all right. Halfway through the generation, everything was in Game Pass. Everybody's like, it's in Game Pass. Like, they really didn't light up the world in software last generation, and it actually stopped. And I remember 3 years ago, people going like, oh, they gave up on this generation. It's all about next gen for them. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and to say, to say now, it's like, and those games, those hits that you remember are now 60 frames. Like, we're doing it again. And, it's just, man, I don't know. Link, what do you think? I'm tired of all these acquisition bullshit.
I do not care about this. I do like free upgrades to games that I would like to play.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is, I don't want to play any of those games, regardless if they get an update or not. So, um, if they're on Xbox, I mean, most of the games that they put out last gen were subpar. So, I don't, Oh, what are we going to enhance 360 games or OG
Maybe.
Xbox? Like, I don't.
Maybe 360 games. It's not that it's bad, Froggy.
Yeah,
It's not bad. It's just that,
it's not bad. It's
I'm just
just
asking people's opinion on it.
it's too much emphasis is being put on those type of things versus new experiences. And
Exactly.
That's the problem.
That's the issue.
You put out a little tweet about an upgrade and you let people know it's coming, but don't turn it into something major because it's still an old game. Do what Santa Monica did. They put out a little tweet. They said, "Hey, we're going to be updating the game so you can play it at 4K 60." All
Yep.
right, good. I mean,
and I did. I played a little bit, and I was like, "Yep, this is awesome," and move on.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, yeah, I'm not saying it's bad to update old games, but just like Link said, like, they are relying on this just too much and not offering new stuff. And everything that's new can't be shown. We're excited about what we didn't show you. Everything's a secret, a rumor. Who we gonna buy? What are we gonna show? And you heard my rant earlier today. Like, it's like, let's do an interview. Like that guy, what's his name, did an interview with Major Nelson. That guy with the long beard, that long ass beard thing that I don't know, it's a freaky thing. But he has one that goes down to like his balls or something like that. He has this long ass beard.
Oh yeah, that guy. I know.
Jason Rollins, that's his name. That's his name.
Yeah.
So he did
Jason
an interview with Major Nelson on the thing. It was going all over the internet. Oh, you know what? We're gonna improve the we heard about the DVR. Yeah, we're gonna add that later this year. We're gonna add some DVR functionality, better ones. We heard you. We're gonna add, maybe there's some news about some backwards compatibility soon. We're gonna be talking about that maybe in the next coming months. Like, why the fuck are you on an interview? You got nothing to say.
No.
Why? Who said get on this interview so that you could talk about things that you can't talk about?
That you can't talk about.
Yeah.
And then you spread the news, and everybody's like, "What are they gonna? Xbox is gonna update." You didn't. You just released a $500 monster that ate monsters for breakfast and took bitches out for brunch. And this son of a bitch is telling me that they're gonna fix the DVR functionality in the coming months. You basically slapped the same ass tramp stamp DVR bullshit off the Series X onto the from the One X. You didn't think people saw something new?
Pretty much.
It just shows that their approaches, they're not when you're really invested in what you're doing, you're gonna do things better than the way they're doing it. And it's showing the lack of games. I mean, we're gonna go all of 2021 and get one AAA game, which is Halo. I mean, what did they have? And like I said before, if Halo would have released like it was supposed to, what did they have for 2021?
Exactly, dude.
What did they have? What were they gonna...
To be fair,
okay.
Halo was supposed to last the whole year, just like Gears. Dudes are still playing Gears 5, right? It's a 2-3-year-old game. I think it came out in 2019 or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, 2019.
We're in 2021, and dudes are still that's all the option they have, right? You're either playing Halo, Gears, or Forza. That's pretty much it. And so they feel like, well, we'll give them another Halo, and that'll shut them up for another year or two until we get some games. And guys are okay with that. That fan base is okay with that.
Yeah.
The argument used to be about the multiplats. Oh yeah, well, most gamers don't really play exclusives anyway. They just play multiplats.
Yeah,
well, now PlayStation has the better version of multiplats. Now they want exclusives, right? Now they want Bethesda and all these other companies to make their games exclusive. Now exclusive is no longer anti-consumer.
Every time they buy a studio, it's not anti-consumer anymore.
Yeah, so it's all it is. It's the dudes are not happy. Phil is not the guy. Microsoft launched two consoles, and mark my words, within the next 2 years they're gonna have another console out.
This is not worth it.
So that's just.
Oh yeah, they can put
you know.
out some hardware.
Pikachu!
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter and looking at all these controllers. Where are the games?
Yeah.
You know, what are you playing with these new controllers other than these old ass games?
Arnold got something to say about that.
You have me right. Con men, thieves, degenerates, lowlifes, thugs, criminals.
Con men.
Yeah.
Yo, we're going to get into the Halo in the future games. That is going to be for the table. The next thing, just talking about shit that just doesn't end. The January NPDs.
Uh-oh.
The hardcore numbers have released in January, and I'm going to show them right friggin' here. Holy crap, the January NPDs. I want to hear people tell me about microchip shortages and whatever the hell they talk about. The Phil's DNA in their eyes. I don't know what the hell's going on here. But we got a whole bunch of chips and ass and stuff. Where is this stuff? Let me get into the display and show the NPDs. This is going to be the breakdown of numbers, but nobody cares about NPDs. Yes, when you are not on them, why would you care about the goddamn NPDs? So Xbox is not on anything with a goddamn NPD. Let me turn this. Oops. Hold on. Working on my shit. There we go. Here we go. NPDs. We're going to look at the PlayStation. We're just going to look at the publishers. Here's the top 21 games. All right? The top 21 games. We got Call of Duty Cold War, Assassin's Creed Ass Holla, Spider-Man Miles Morales number 3. It actually went up. Last month it was in 4. Now it's at 3. You got Madden 21, Animal Crossing, goddamn Nintendo, Mario Kart 8, goddamn Nintendo, Ring Fit Adventures, goddamn Nintendo. Jesus, that is a trifecta of games that you just want to put your head in a goddamn hole somewhere. Ring Fit Adventures is up there. And then another Call of Duty comes up the ass at number 8, Modern Warfare, because you know that's where that everybody plays that shit. And then Smash Brothers Ultimate. Goddamn Nintendo. We're talking January 21. This is not last year. This is January 2021. Holy shit. FIFA, FIFA 21, Immortals Phoenix Rising. I'm going to play that some. Mortal Kombat 11. They re-released that one, so that's it. Just Dance 21. Damn, Ubisoft. Goddamn. Zelda Breath of the Wild. Jesus. Oh, Microsoft's here. Guys, they made it. They made it.
If you're lying to me,
Minecraft.
I'll be back.
Wait, they made it. Minecraft is here, number 17th. But it's the PlayStation 4 edition.
Bullshit.
Oh my god.
Now, whatever your name is, get ready for the big
Jesus,
surprise.
they can't even get the W for a friggin' game that they own and that they friggin' bought. With all that Phil Spencer, Phil Ness money. Jesus Christ. Even they can't get on the top 20 with their own game. Not even the Xbox edition. God damn it. The PlayStation 4 edition. Well, Phil rubs his balls on that one. That's great. Cyberpunk, which has been pulled from shelves, still hanging in there at 18. Goddamn Super Mario Party at 19. And UFC 4. Jesus. Those are the top 10 games. I don't see any Game Pass games in there, but let's see. Maybe just in the Xbox games, there might be something from Game Pass. Nothing. There's all Call of Duties, Ass Holla, Maddens, FIFAs, Cyberpunks, Minecraft, the Xbox One edition. Thank you. At least you win something in your home field. And FIFA 21. That's it. The PlayStation top games. Let's see those. Oh, Sony's there with Spider-Man number 2, Demon's Souls, and Ghost of Tsushima 6 and 7. So, that's your software. What do you think about that?
That's exactly what I would expect. Listen, when you don't put out any games, you can't possibly expect to win anything. You know, they launched 2 brand new different consoles with no software to support it. They threw it out there and they said, well, look, the third party games will do, and it is what it is, but yeah, it just, I don't know, man. 2 consoles, right? 2 consoles. These guys developed 2 freaking consoles with no games for either one of those. And I know some guys gonna bring up, oh, but what about Game Pass? It's like, dude, these are the same games you've been playing for the last 3-4 years, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. If you look at a lot of the 360 and OG Xbox stuff. Meanwhile, the competition is breaking all these records, putting out all kind of games, giving you free new next generation games. It's I don't think they get it. But again, I'm not gonna blame Microsoft completely. I'm gonna blame the fan base because the fan base, I mean, all they do is just, you know,
they're still
Phil is the
searching for Phil's
greatest,
DNA in
and
the microchips, and they're not buying the games. I don't know what the hell's going on.
you know, and
Phil put extra DNA in his microchips.
right? You know, the guys are happy with controllers. Let's face it, they don't buy or support their games.
They buy a $70 controller.
We saw the Gears Hive
Well,
busters
actually,
on
controllers,
only
J-Dub,
one point.
I do have to say something. For NPDs, the PS5 DualSense controller was the best-selling accessory, and the PlayStation Pulse 3D was the best-selling headset. Shit.
Hey, PlayStation Nation, man, they represent. They buy the games, they buy the software, they buy the accessories, they buy, you know. When you have great games, that gives people a reason to buy your accessories. It gives people to buy your hardware. It gives people to buy everything else into your services, right? But if all you're offering is services and nothing else, and controllers, right? It's like you have to give people a reason to buy. And Microsoft hasn't given people to buy it. Gears Hive Busters came out. Only 1.9% of the people actually bought it, and actually tried it out. So
it wasn't even on any kind of NP. Yeah, I'm zooming in so you guys can see it. But yeah, I don't even think Gears was on there. Like, it was forgotten about in Game Pass, and people keep saying about that achievements, and that it really just nobody really played it. And you got to think about, dude, how many people? Like we keep talking about 18 million subscribers. So you tell me 18 million people had access to Gears Hive Busters, and you get rare achievements for open up doors.
Yep.
Because they don't play these games.
I don't get it. So are they the fault? Is Phil the fault? I just would love to see a world without Phil there, because I think Phil muddies the water. That's what I think. Like, I think that there are Phil fans, and I think he needs to have his own groupie session, and he just needs to go, because I think with Phil gone, it's like the Wizard of Oz. Like, then the truth of the bullshit will be revealed, because I think he's like a pacifier to it. Like, he's such a nice guy. You know, he retweeted me that people just forget the blatant bullshit and lack of just shit that's going down. Like, I don't understand it, man. And then
what?
Oh, I'm gonna say, and then number one hardware was the PlayStation 5 in January. You're talking two consoles, a $500 and a $300 Xbox, did not beat the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Again, I used to think that too, right? I used to think it's all Phil's fault. Phil. But then I realized it. Phil has been able to have great success by selling these guys anything, right? Just give them controllers. Just give them Game Pass. You know, Taco Bell, Oreo cookies, Chips Ahoy, anything. Just give it to them. And that takes away, right? That takes away their argument for where's the game? Where's this? Where's that? They stop asking questions. And so he did that. He's fulfilled that, and the fan base are okay, right? They're okay with it. They're okay with their launch game being the Falconeer. You know, so you got the world's most powerful console and the Falconeer issue. They're okay with it. They don't find anything wrong with it.
Nope.
And so, at what time do we have to stop blaming Phil and start blaming the fan base who accepts this? If I'm Phil and they accept it and they're happy, then now, granted, with PlayStation, that fan base is a whole different group of people, right? Obviously, they're having their success because they're getting brand new games, AAA, indie, VR, and everything else under the sun. So Sony's taking care of that fan base. Nintendo, you know, they get the Marios and on the Switch and all that stuff. They're being taken care of. So, as the PlayStation guy, I look at Microsoft and I'm like, what are you guys doing? But guess what? They're satisfying their fan base. Their fan base don't want the same stuff as the other fan bases.
You
They
know
don't
they
care
do,
about the
though.
big blockbuster. I know that, but
Jay, you know they
but
do. That's the thing. You know that it's a front. Like, they do.
I mean, I know that, and that's
because
why
they
I'm being
want those
facetious
studios
with
bought.
it, right?
They want this. Like, as soon as those studios are bought, they want those exclusives. They want that banger. They want that AAA game to smack the taste out of Sony's mouth. And they know they want it. As much as people say they don't want it, they want it. Because anytime there is a glimmer of hope with a studio purchase or with some sort of game, or they come out. And they kind of go like, oh, yeah. This is our time. This is our time. And it's like the slow clap. You ever see that movie? Was it Not Another Teen Movie? And there's that dude with the slow clap, and he comes out and he's like,
yeah.
And they're like, dude, now's not the time. No, now's not the time. That's what it is. Every time Phil like gives them that glimmer of hope, they're like, Bethesda. And they're like, no, man, that's not the time. They're going to be multi-plat. Anyway, go ahead. I'm just like, I don't get it.
I started looking at the fan base and not necessarily Phil or Microsoft, because I'm like, look, if these guys accept it, then hey, he got to be doing something right? If all they do is praise him, and when you ask that question, what has Phil really done for Xbox? How has Xbox changed for the better since Donnie D, right?
Dude, he's been making
the last
the money.
time Donnie D was there.
He's making the money, and that's what people care about. Like, oh, Microsoft made money. That's great, but they haven't released any games and made money. So how's that a win for you?
But listen, for you and me, right, in any normal gamer, we would say that's not a good thing.
No, that's not good.
You to make money by giving me nothing.
Exactly.
Like Nintendo and Sony, they make money because they give you something. They're giving you great games. They're giving you great accessories. They're giving you great services. That's the thing. But Microsoft is giving you nothing, yet they're making all this money, and so that takes away from the incentive for them to provide good, great, blockbuster, high quality games. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Exactly. That's the worst. You're right. Like that's why you're celebrating them making money. What did they release? They didn't release anything, and you didn't buy anything, even if they released anything. And it's just like it's just like a fail. It's so many fails on everybody's part here. Like if it's them not playing, if it's the people who own the console and playing it, I think the thing is that Phil sold Satya the Philness. And that's where we're going with this, with the Grindstable. But the thing is that I think he sold them like the more people, the more potential for them to buy the games. And why would I always jump to NPD is the proof is remember when Game Pass was announced and they're like, what we're finding is that more people buy the games than on Game Pass because they wouldn't even buy them in the first place, but they try them out in Game Pass and buy them. Well, then why is there not one goddamn Game Pass game in any of the Xbox platforms? This is not just January. This is the whole last year. Like Ori, Flight Simulator, all the games that were in Game Pass from Microsoft Studios weren't in the top areas at all. So what's the Game Pass effect? It's all multiplats.
I think
that's a lie. It was a lie.
Yeah. There is no Game Pass effect. Yeah.
It is
Game
not.
Pass effect is I don't have to buy a game.
No. There is a Game Pass effect because let me tell you, if you look at sales, third-party sales on the Xbox console since Game Pass launch, it's abysmal. So they are just waiting for games to come to Game Pass. They're not buying games anymore. So
I agree.
You look at sales of Capcom games. You look at sales, a lot of these third-party games, they are selling very poorly on the Xbox console. And they are just being conditioned to not purchase games and to just wait for stuff to go into Game Pass. I mean, you see it. When a game is launching, they're saying, I'll just wait for it to come to Game Pass. How do you know this game is coming?
They say it all the time.
Yeah.
You don't even know if it's coming.
Yep. They say it all the time.
They got a backlog then. I play my backlog and wait for this game to come in Game Pass. Dude, if you're that complacent, like, you cannot sit there and think that the console and the platform of Game Pass will be successful with a bunch of mediocre late to the party, games that just came out and were just like, nobody really cares. Some games that just like nobody would have bought anyway. That's just, they need these top games that are right here to be in Game Pass day one if they even want to create a dent in Game Pass being a real thing. They need a Call of Duty in there. And you want to know what? PlayStation has put in Call of Duties in the PlayStation Plus service and PlayStation Now. There is not one, I'm talking old-ass Call of Duties, in Game Pass at all. So they're not even trying to grab that audience at all. Meanwhile, Sony, who doesn't even give a shit about Game Pass, their own Game Pass, has put in Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, Call of Duty World War II in their PlayStation Plus subscription and in their PlayStation Now subscription. Hello, like, there is not one of these games. No Assassin's Creed. There's no Assassin's Creed in Game Pass. There's Madden. If you want to play Madden 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, you could play them in EA with Game Pass. Who the fuck's playing Madden 16 right now?
Right?
You that's the Maddens that are in Game Pass. Remember, EA Play is in Game Pass now. You could play Madden 15, 16, the whole story you could tell. You could go play people who are now in the news booth. You could play them when they're in the game. Like, who the hell is playing Madden 15? They got FIFA 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Like, what kind of noise bullshit is that? Who's playing that shit?
What are the most played games on that console even in Game Pass?
No, I don't even think so, man. I don't even think so.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not.
Madden, Call of Duty.
They're not.
I mean, you can't put free-to-play games in there. So, I mean, what would...
But look, Gears wasn't even in the Xbox top 10. And you would think Gears had some DLC that dropped in December. Maybe it didn't make December NPDs, but why didn't Gears 5 show up in January? They released a 3-hour DLC that everybody was like, oh, this is better than Gears 5. Gears didn't even make the top 10 in Xbox platforms, nor even the top 20. Meanwhile, you look at PlayStation platforms, they got freaking Ghost of Tsushima in the top 7. And then games are launched with their PlayStation 5 at 2 and 6.
Yep.
Like, Ghost of Tsushima has legs. I think the thing about Game Pass is that Game Pass doesn't even... It should give a game legs, in theory. If it's incredible, like, Game Pass should have a game sustained, having legs, because more people will be playing it. But the problem is that nobody's buying it. People are just subscribing, so it's not going to show up in sales.
Listen.
Well, you know this. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I mean, I'm just saying that honestly, and I'll tell you firsthand. I mean, I have Game Pass only because I paid $1 to convert all my gold years.
Dollar bill Phil,
into
you got
Game
you.
Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I paid $1. And honestly, what Game Pass did to me is it took away my ownership of these games. So it really doesn't give me any real incentive to finish a game or to, like when I purchase a game, I want to complete it, but when I play something on Game Pass, it just feels like some throwaway. I tried. It doesn't cost. There's no barrier to entry, so I'm not paying anything. But I mean, it just does something to my mindset when I look at a game that's in Game Pass. So I know that may sound kind of crazy, but it just does. It does that to me.
It's because of the games that are there. They're not the games that you really care about. The saying is that Game Pass is where games go to die. That's the thing.
It's a graveyard. Yeah. It's a graveyard. It's games that either and know what else too, Jay? Like they didn't even get like big third party games in there. Like I know when they made that big push for what is it? Not Demon. What the hell is that game? The for Capcom game. Dante. What the hell is it? Shit. The hell is it?
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry, where they put Devil May Cry in there, like a few months after launch, and you're like, oh shit, maybe they're they're going aggressively after games. Like Devil May Cry, I don't think hit as well as it should have, or as much as it did. But like they paid a lot of money supposedly to get Devil May Cry in there. And the thing is like they really didn't do that push anymore. Like, they didn't try to get any kind of big third party, like, hey, let's get Borderlands 3 in there. You know what I mean? Like, a few months after, when the DLC comes out, let's get that in Game Pass. Almost to have like a cadence, of like games that, hey, maybe these big games are coming and stuff like that.
Are you sure that these companies all want their games to go into that service?
That's
because
the
in a
answer.
way it may be because once you put your game in Game Pass, right? You shouldn't expect anybody else on the Xbox to ever purchase it.
No, that's not what Phil said. Phil says it's great for you. No, it devalues? Yes, I believe so, because that's what devs think.
I mean, if you feel like you have a superior product, I don't say put it in Game Pass. I mean, because I think once you do that to your product, it's going to devalue it.
Yeah, it does.
So maybe some of these devs don't want their game in Game Pass.
Yeah, and why? Cyberpunk devs came out and said we're not going in Game Pass when those rumors came around. Like, they were first to jump down that throat. 2K was like, some of this stuff's not in Game Pass. Like, I forgot what it was. There was another game. Like, some of these devs jumped down the throat. I think Game Pass is good for like those $30 indie games, or like a really good indie game that really nobody would really pay for. Which, it's sad to say, but like, that's kind of, it gives them the exposure that they probably would not get. Or a multiplayer game, sort of like a like a Destruction All Stars or Fall Guys or something like that. Like, those are the kind of games that would be good in a Game Pass per se. I would think that they would find success. But if you have a big budget, big blockbuster game that has a huge, like, you're not going to put that game in no $10 a month box of Pop-Tarts subscription. And that's been my biggest fear with Game Pass. Microsoft knows this. They know this. That's why they're holding on to a lot of these games. They're happy about what they didn't show you. They're not in a rush to dump out a blockbuster game, or even if they have one, to put it out there, because they know that the return is going to be the subscribers, not the purchase. And one of the things that's sad, look, just to wrap up this whole NPD thing, is that just think of a game like a Fable. Let's just talk Perfect Dark. Because of the existence of Game Pass, we will never know how successful, and nor would the Xbox fan base, would never know how successful that game is to warrant a sequel or to celebrate that. And that's something that these NPDs do work, because, I see Demon Souls at 6. I see Ghost, and I'm like, those are awesome games. Ghost of Tsushima having legs the way it does shows that multiplayer is probably holding on. It shows that game really is holding on in sustainability, actually more so than The Last of Us, which is pretty crazy.
It's true, because it's got multiplayer and it's a good quality title.
Exactly.
I mean,
but what does that tell you? That tells you that Sony is most likely going to include maybe multiplayer in the next Ghost of Tsushima, or make a sequel. Like, you could celebrate along with them. And I think Jay was saying this before. Like, the problem is that you see the company making a great product. You enjoy that product. They're having success with that product. Financially, that's great for them. I don't give a shit. But the fact is that it's a gains across the board. I had a good time. It's being successful. They're doing it. Most likely we'll get a sequel. It's a positive feedback loop. Whereas on the Xbox, you don't have that. You have a game that releases. You don't know if it's good, like if it was successful or not, because you don't have any monetary quantifier about that. It doesn't show up on any lists. And
I don't think they care.
Yeah, what was that? Sorry.
I don't think Microsoft cares about that.
I know, but the
honestly.
Fans do, though. This is something that you get fans. Like,
right? I think they're just concerned about how many subscribers they can get into that service, regardless of the subscribers are playing the games or not. If they're actually paying subscribers, that's kind of what they care about, which we don't even know who's paying for it and who isn't.
Yeah, right.
But they don't seem to be concerned, and it shows with the type of titles that they're putting out. I mean, you put out a game like Grounded, right? That game is not. It doesn't have hardly any content. It's not a finished product, but we'll just go ahead and throw it out here, and maybe we'll finish it later.
Yep.
And you can look at what they're doing. They're dropping support for some of their titles.
We're gonna get into that. Yep, we'll get into that.
Okay,
next.
yeah. So yeah, it just seems like they really don't care.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, one last topic
it's
before we get.
quality.
Okay, sorry, Jay.
No, I was just gonna say it that lack of quality and the mere fact that they don't mind throwing stuff out there that you know maybe it's the Sea of Thieves effect, but we just threw that out there with a Kraken that was lacking, didn't have a body or anything like that. We'll just throw that out there, and then in a couple of years we'll fix it and make it worthwhile. And the guys were okay with that, and as long as guys keep being okay, as long as the fan base keep being okay with it, it's going to keep happening.
Yep,
that's not good.
You're right.
Well, one thing I know Jay brought in a topic. So, Jay, what was that topic about the whole S? Before we get into the whole, like, what we're starting to talk about with the Game Pass and Halo and some games not being continued, there was an article that came up, and Jay wanted to talk about it. It was the
Gaming Boat. Yeah,
here it is. I got it up here.
Yeah.
So let's see. The title of this one. The Xbox Series S could present challenges for future titles, says Chief Technical Officer of 4A Games.
Yep. These are the people that made Metro Exodus.
Oh my God. How many developers have said these type of things? Well, go ahead.
Yeah. They've been saying it for quite some time.
Yeah.
Think about it. These developers are always going to develop for the least common denominator. They're not going to go, and that's the great thing about when you have one platform and one console that you have to work with. That hardware stays stagnant, it stays constant, and you just going to use all the tech you can from that system. But if you have a weaker system, you have to encompass both.
Yep.
So they're not gonna. I know a lot of guys like to say, "Oh, they're gonna build a game for the highest model, the high end model, and then scale it down." We've seen it over and over. That shit doesn't work. More and more developers are saying what they do is they'll develop it for the least common denominator. That way they know it works, right? And then they'll just add a few bells and whistles as need be for the higher end system. But the base console, I mean, it's still limited. The high end system is still going to be limited by by the game, the way it's developed, and the lack of memory that's in there. It's not going to take full scale of the full memory for the big one,
Yeah. And the other thing too, to kind of tie this into our last topic with the NPDs, they said that they're estimating that the PlayStation, I think they said they shipped or sold, or I think it was some analysis though. It was like 4.5 million consoles. It was sold through, and they sold like 4 million with the PlayStation 4. So they actually are doing better with the PlayStation 5 than they sold at this time point with the PlayStation 4. Whereas the Xbox is at 2.5, when the Xbox One, they sold back in 2013 to 3 million, I believe, at this time. And now they're like at 2.5. They're like below what they sold. And that's with two consoles priced at $300 and $500. So Sony is outperforming itself what previously did, at least matching or outperforming itself for the PlayStation 4. And the Xbox is underperforming what it did after that horrible, supposedly launch of 2013 that we can never talk about, the date that we never speak about. Microsoft is underperforming with two consoles sitting out there at a $300 and a $500 one. So, talking about like we can't compare numbers because of chip structures and all this other stuff, but Sony's outperforming itself with all those limitations as well. So I don't understand. So if Sony's outperforming itself better and Microsoft is underperforming, well, I guess the restrictive nature, yes, it's affecting both of them. But one is showing still success and growth, where the other one is showing stagnation or decline. And the reason why I bring that up is the fact is, and again, Microsoft don't release actual numbers, so who knows worth the damn, but we know they're not overselling Sony. But the thing is, when we've seen this with the One X, when the console is not permeating the market as such, Because remember, Phil likes to poke his dick around in PC, on your Android phone. You know, he wants to be everywhere. He wants to be the Mothman of bitch everywhere on these devices because that's what he wants to do and roast marshmallows at everybody. He devalued the console in that aspect. So I wouldn't expect more growth of the next console over the previous one because the emphasis of a console is not there. And the devs see this. So what dev is going to take that extra time to do a console that could be selling two double over the PlayStation 5 could be selling more than the Xbox, and knowing that the version that they're making is going to work on the primary dominant system and then just port it over to the Xbox. And we saw this with the One X. The PlayStation 4 Pro had some outperformance issues of the Xbox One X, even though the One X is more powerful. But the difference is that they just jacked up the resolution on the Xbox just to say it's 4K, but made the performance down. Like, they didn't take that extra time to optimize for it. So now when you're looking at these devs talking about the special, like, we have compromised solution right now, but I'm not satisfied with it yet. The RAM is not an issue, but the GPU performance presents challenges. Then the other developer said the RAM was a restrictive issue of the S. Microsoft obviously has a more complicated system with the S and the Series X and the Series S. The problem is that if this console is not the lead console for development, will developers take that extra time to optimize it? And we've seen in some aspect they haven't. You know, Dirt 5 is an example right there. The One X was missing bushes and trees and foliage because Phil, the lawnmower man Spencer, was at work. Do you remember Outer Worlds was missing bushes and stuff that had to get patched in? But the fact is why did it launch in that state? Because they're basically just using the Xbox version from down, moving it up. And the problem I have is that if you don't put an emphasis that people need your console, the fact that these consoles, if there is an outperformance measurement of sales with the PlayStation just dominating, Xbox is going to get less and less time, mind share from the developers. And like Link said, the thing is the RAM. How many developers have come out and complained about the existence of this S? Not that it doesn't function, but that it's an annoyance and there's limitations and we have to compromise. Why did they put this burden on the? And this is not the first time, Link and Jay. Like, remember when the Xbox was in development? There were Jason Schreier was saying things like, "Devs are pissed about this One S, the Series S." I mean. They don't like that it exists and consider next gen.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Multiple people have said that. All these developers, but as soon as they went out to say it, you know, the Xbox fan base, you know, they started attacking them and all kind of crap like that. But
don't believe them.
Now we're seeing it, right? Now we're seeing it in action. We're seeing the PS5 outdo. And in some cases, the Switch in a lot of games when it comes, because don't forget the X Series S is still out there, and I forgot what game was running at 642p or something like that. I'm like, geez. And they advertised this console as being a 1440p 120 frames a second console. And we're getting nowhere near that. I mean, we're lucky if we get 1080p with that system. So, it is what it is, man.
Hey, man, good luck to them. But I just think that the Xbox, you know, the more time is against them. And I think that's the thing that I wanted to kind of lead into the grind table is basically that I feel, and I do think other people feel too. I think time is not on their side. Because the more this dichotomy exists and grows, the worse of a hole it is for them to dig out of. They already dug themselves in a hole. Now they're just trying to go below 6 feet under. They're already 6 feet under. Now it's just below that. And they got to crawl out of that. They have fallen from grace. And that's what grinds me up so much. Like, they were doing stuff. We were getting games. And they decided to quit Xbox. Not me. Not you. Not the Xbox fans. Microsoft decided to quit Xbox and shut shit down. And now they're trying to come back reincarnated, but not the same Xbox. And the reason why we point out these NPDs, point out this shit, is because this doesn't sound like a path for success. If developers are complaining now, this console came out in November, devs are complaining now about the limitations of the S, what the hell are they going to talk about a year or two from now?
Exactly. When these games become more demanding. I mean, we don't even have Unreal, 5 games yet. So the Series S, I'm reading on Twitter, these Xbox extremists are talking about the PS5 is holding back the Series X, and that's why it's outperforming. That's why it's outperforming the Series X in most games, just like Control and stuff like that. But none of them are bringing up the Series S being the weakest hardware.
Yeah.
No, they'll say
don't
PC
bring that
is
up.
the
They
weakest
don't want to
hardware.
hear that.
They won't say it. They won't say it. And game devs continue to say we can scale graphical fidelity, we can scale effects, but what we cannot scale is the design of the game. And the design of the game is the size of the world, the scope of the game is going to be hampered by this anemic hardware with this slow ass RAM, it has less RAM than the other two consoles. It's got the split RAM configuration. It's got very slow RAM. This GPU in this console is obviously very weak because it can't even render most games at 1080p.
And ray tracing in some of them, not all of them.
Oh, yeah. And they're talking about 1440p box. How many 1440p games have come out on this console? And you got the Metro Exodus devs, they can't even promise you this game's going to run at 60 FPS at 1080p. They can't promise you that if they have with ray tracing, that it's going to be able to run at 60 FPS. So it's becoming a pattern that these devs, they're not trying to be overly negative, but they're giving you the facts.
Yeah.
And I don't care what these Xbox extremists want to say about this Series XS and how it's a great value. It is not a good value. It's not a good value. And it's going to, when it comes to third-party games, it's going to hold some of these third-party games back. It's not going to hold Sony devs back because they have one set of hardware to work with. But it is going to hold back some of these third-party games, and these devs are not happy with this hardware.
No.
There's no way Jason Ronald went around to all these devs and said, hey, guys, what do you want? Do you want a Series S? Do you want a box with these specs? There's no dev that told them that this was a good idea.
No.
This is a Game Pass decision.
Exactly.
This Series S was everything Microsoft is doing strategically is centered around Game Pass down to the hardware.
Yes.
And I don't care what they tell.
No, and xCloud. You're totally right, Link. And xCloud. Those are for the blades. They're for know what this is, Link? And you made such an excellent point with that. This is all about Game Pass in the cloud. But you know what this is? It's just like a race to the bottom. Microsoft is trying to take this whole idea of a console and this Premier thing, and they're trying to race to the lowest common denominator, which is a cell phone or a Windows PC or a thumbstick Xbox for an accessible subscription sucker. That's what they want. They want the person who doesn't give a shit about games, and they will just pay $15 a month because they're just like, games? Duh. I don't give a shit what games are there. I get 100 games a month. I don't care what they are, but I will pay on my thumbstick. They want the ignorant gamer. They want a gamer that just doesn't give a shit. They want the person who doesn't care. That's why thinking you're putting Gears on a phone is going to drive Gears sales or make people play Gears. Gears 5, 18 million people, 1 billion Windows 10 devices, 60 million Xbox consoles, infinite Android phones. xCloud launched in September. It's everywhere, except on and with a box of Pop-Tarts. It's so accessible, yet still it dropped off like a piece of lead.
Yep.
So
tell me how this is working.
And their sales are lagging behind the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Which was it's you know, the Xbox One started out with good sales, but, you know, they started to die off because they weren't putting out any games. But this series, Man, this Series S. I mean, every time, and they're saying, "Oh, the only thing that's going to be different." What did they say about this? Was it what was the code name for the Series S? Was it Lockhart?
Yes.
It was,
Okay.
yeah,
We had God.
Lockhart.
What
We've
were
been
they
Yeah.
talking
saying?
about this shit for
What?
2 years before it got announced.
Listen,
These things got code
what were they?
names.
What were they saying? It's just going to have a weaker GPU, which means the game's just going to run at a lower resolution. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to
But
be the
it's
same
supposed-
game.
So
It's
where's the
gonna-
ray tracing? Why is it at 900p and 600p on medium and
Same.
and lower and 1080p 60? Like, what the hell's going
Right.
on here?
Same. So it doesn't even have. It's not the exact same processor, but it's pretty close. But they were saying it's just going to be resolution. It's going
Yeah.
to have the same hardware ray tracing component. So you won't. It will still have ray tracing. Most games don't even have ray tracing. So what they're selling to you, and what Microsoft and these Xbox people fans are saying, what they're saying and what the devs are saying is two totally different things. And I'm going to listen to the devs and the people that actually know how to make video games versus people who don't know anything about this, how this works, who are saying, well, it's just lazy devs.
Yeah, well,
know,
they blame the devs,
no.
and they think Microsoft's giving the hardware, but blame the devs. And the thing is like, the loser in all these scenarios is us, the gamer. That's the thing. Like, blame the devs, blame Phil, blame this. Guess who's losing? Us. And know what else? And even more else. We're going to get into it because we're going to talk about how Game Pass, like how the support and what Halo and all these kind of cancellations and lack of support in games that are involving in a service, is that confidence in still subscribing to a service that just has these kind of fickle games? We're going to the Grindstable.
Right.
Here we go. All right, Grindstable. The last topic was like the Halo and future games, and I think. Sorry, guys, was that too loud? My intro. Sorry, Captain. But my transitions, my Sony production team failed me there again. At least I had that one right. Sorry, but I'll lower that. It's the sirens. We got them right here. Filling us, yes. And so the topic to the table that we're bringing here is kind of like what we have been alluding to. Guys, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I'm still waiting for the subscribers so I can test out my friggin' widget. Come on, somebody hit that subscribe button. I want to see if my widget works. I have it set up for 2 weeks, and I haven't got anybody subscribe live. I want to see if my widget works. You get a cool Arnold quote if you hit subscribe during the live stream. But hit that like button as well. We got over 50 people watching here. I think we hit 60. The bumping's good. Thank you, Buck. So the topic I'm bringing here to the table, kind of like what we've been adding on to, is this whole thing about what we've been hearing. So and this is not rumors. This is what's going on. So Halo Wars 2. I liked Halo Wars 1. Halo Wars 2, I thought was more of the same. But the thing is regardless of how I feel about it, the fact about the game is that 343 is like, dude, we're not making another sequel in the near future. We're working on Master Chief Collection and this transmedia and all this big stuff with Master Chief on the thing. Nothing happened. Sorry, restart. Oh man. All right. Well, I guess my test widgets are not working.
Whatever your name is,
Let's see if that
get
works.
ready for the big surprise.
That's I'll have to fix it next time. Sorry, but definitely hit that sub button, regardless of if you get the animation or not. So the thing is like we've seen with Halo Wars that they kind of like, man, we scrapped. We're not going to work on a sequel of the game. We're kind of done with it. And I saw things going around last year about they're just kind of done with it. Sorry, Mog. All right, thank you for trying for it. What's up, O'Neal? How you doing? But still hit that sub button, everybody. The other thing was bleeding ass. They didn't have any updates, and they came out going, "We're done with bleeding ass."
I mean, were they working on anything for
No.
it? Because I mean,
Nope, not at all.
Nothing.
But
did they ever put out any
remember,
new content for that game? I don't.
this was
They had
supposed
one
to be a
character,
game
two
that they
characters,
could.
I think.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a game that they could support from Game Pass. They're going to support it. They're going to do this. This thing could be big as some of these other
Overwatch.
games out there, right? Yeah, yeah. And now we know that was a lie.
I mean, I guess they realized there was only like 7 people in the whole world even playing the game, so maybe they just said, well, you know.
Well, that goes more for the
Passion.
the fan base than it does Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Or they just have
we gotta-
disconnections, dude. Like, they don't know what the people want.
Mm-mm.
They're disconnected.
Listen,
Like,
yeah,
I didn't know
they
I
are.
wanted an open world samurai
They are.
game. I didn't know I wanted an open world samurai game and another Assassin. Like, think about somebody's like, hey, we're going to do another Assassin's Creed, but this is going to be like a samurai Assassin's Creed. And it's like, But, hey, I didn't know I wanted that. I didn't know I wanted a multiplayer aspect like how it did it. See, that's the thing. Like, Sony, for some reason, same thing with Nintendo. Like, they know what heartstrings, what buttons to press, what will be successful, what they could take a chance on. Hey, Deathloop. I didn't know if I wanted Deathloop, but you know what? It looks cool. Days Gone, an open world zombie horde game, like, I didn't know I wanted that, but like, they showed it and I like it a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Microsoft just doesn't have their finger on the pulse, even though they say, we hear you, we're sorry, Xbox.com feedback. The thing is they're not listening. That's all just a bunch of pandering to the audience. They're not listening because, just like Link said, they got one goal in mind, and you're coming with them. And if you don't want to come with them, go somewhere else, and maybe they'll grab your ass over there. But they are going to the cloud, and they're going to Game Pass, and that is it. And, you know, these games, the fans that they care about so much, they don't give a shit about you. So why do you adore them and make it about them rather than the content? That's my problem. Like, why are you making it about the person rather than the product?
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't,
I mean,
like you said, Bleeding Edge, right? It was supposed to, a multiplayer only game in Game Pass. By the way, unlike Destruction All-Stars, it also was $30 goddamn and still is. Maybe 20 now. So it wasn't like a Destruction All-Stars where this game just shipped with a bunch of people in 3 maps and said, hey, games as a service. Oh, no, they charging you for that shit. So everybody running around with Destruction All-Stars $70, it's not $70 anymore. It is a true service game because you can't buy it. Unlike Microsoft, who tries to pull off a service game, but also trying to sell you. They're trying to poke it in your ass while they're trying to feed you in the mouth. They're doing both different, they're hitting you at both ends. Oh, it's just same thing with Halo Infinite. Oh, it's a service game. So don't expect these guns to be there day one. Oh, but it's also $60. Excuse me?
Relax. You've been erased.
So, like, Microsoft's trying to get you at both ends. Unlike a true service game or a free-to-play game. Bleeding Edge should have been free-to-play, not $30 entry. But they have to put that price tag on the game because guess what? They got to funnel your ass in Game Pass. Oh, shit. Doesn't that sound familiar? What did they try to do a few weeks ago?
Yep.
Overprice Xbox Live to funnel your ass in Game Pass. That's what they're trying to do.
That's what they're doing.
They're trying to overprice their games or keep their games at a high price to make Game Pass look like the better option.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves is still high price. Like, Master Chief Collection is still $40, $30. Like, their games don't drop to $9. You could buy Horizon Zero Dawn for $10 goddamn bucks. It's the friggin' full edition. Sony drops their games to get people to buy them. Microsoft has to keep their games at higher prices to make Game Pass look like the better option. At least with their games.
That's true.
But the question I want to ask you guys is, like, with Bleeding Edge, right? Supposed to be a multiplayer game, only multiplayer in the service, you know, maybe have some long legs and all that other stuff. People weren't playing it. Nobody really cared about it. They had 3 maps. what does it say for a service where it's like, yeah, that game we're done with it? You gonna continue to subscribe? And then Halo Wars 2, all this money that Microsoft made, right? They bought 5 Bethesdas in revenue or something like that. They could have bought Bethesda 3 times over. Why are they not making Halo Wars 3 just for the fuck shit of it? What does it matter to them? It's peanuts.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest.
Mhm.
I don't think there is an explanation on why.
Why not?
I don't think there is an explanation.
There's no explanation. Like, it's really
Literally, there is no explanation why you wouldn't support this game. This is I know it's a side piece, but to your main franchise.
Mm-hmm.
If they now think about where Halo Wars would have been if they would have like actually put some time, some big names behind this game and really just supported it properly like they should. You know how they tell us they're gonna do all the other games, right? They always say, yeah, we're gonna support this, we got big plans, and then before you know it, they cancel it.
10 years for Halo Infinite.
I'm trying to
exactly.
use
Oh, this
the
is the last Halo
phone.
we're ever gonna make because it's just gonna, and it's like, yeah, people are probably gonna stop. I don't know if they have other games, people will stop playing. But if you don't have any games, kind of like right now, there's no Xbox. They just don't have any games.
Yeah, and they're just
So
kind of cancel it, dude. Like saying, yeah, there's no Halo Wars, man. Like, there's none.
Remember, canceling games are good for the gamer.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Scalebound?
Yeah.
Scalebound, anybody?
Yep, and he was going to make up for Street Fighter.
For Street Fighter.
By canceling
we'll
Killer Instinct. They can't find... I saw that article about, like, they're looking for somebody to make Killer Instinct. I'm like, you got 23 goddamn studios.
Yep.
You have nobody to make Killer Instinct. Okay.
Yep.
No, but let's have a ragtag group of guys make industry veterans in Tomb Raider make Perfect Dark, said who, and let's take the guys who made racing games and make them make Fable. After we shut down the studio of Lionhead, who actually made Fable games, we're just going to take the studio that made racing games and say, you make Fable. Then we're going to take Obsidian, who make the better games of Avowed, that looks like Elder Scrolls. Fuck. Let's just go buy Bethesda, who makes Elder Scrolls as well. And happens to be their next game in the next 6 years. Like, where the redundancy? Like, who's running this shit? Like, where's Booty? Where's that dirty, stinky-ass Booty? Phil Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that Booty? He's clapping around somewhere. We don't see him. He's supposed to be running these 23 goddamn studios.
Yeah.
What is that Booty doing? You better not be going out there doing tricks. That fucking Booty. Yo, man, I don't know where that Booty is. Ghostface says, oh, snap, that's J-Dub. We're not worthy. Yes, this is the infamous J-Dub on here.
Yo, what's good?
Yeah, I don't. I really don't. I don't want them to continue down this path of mediocrity. But it just appears that that's what's going to be happening for the foreseeable future. And I mean, I've played on every Xbox console since the original Xbox. It's just disappointing.
It comes a time, right, when listen, Microsoft Xbox isn't the new kid on the block anymore.
No, it's not. Why are they being treated that way?
It's been here for 20 years.
Exactly.
It's been here for 20 years. Listen, I'll say this when Phil Spencer took over. I'll give him a couple of years and then I'll judge him. But guys, it's been,
2013 to 20.
Giving them,
yo, 7 years.
Dude,
7.
He's had a full length of time, right?
This is not no goddamn honeymoon, man. This is honeymoon, divorce, remarried, and divorce. 7 years.
You see what I'm saying?
7.
That's what I'm saying.
And 4 consoles later.
Yep.
The 1S, the 1X, the Series S, the Series X, shit, the digital edition, the sad edition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was 5 consoles later. And they shipped 2 consoles without any games. The 1X had nothing. It had Lucky's Tales. Crackdown 3 was the hit that was supposed to got delayed and wound up flopping in February. Just to come back 3 years later after talking about Project Bullshit. And now they launched another next-gen console, 2 of them, with the goddamn Falconeer. And gave you medium out the ass. And what's next? 23 Studios, what's next? I asked the public. What's next? 23 Studios, there should be a game every month. What happened? It takes years to buy games. It takes years to make games. J-Dub just said it. This is not their first console. This is not their first go-around. They shouldn't be treated like an industry darling. This is their 5th, 7th goddamn generation. What are we doing?
Well, I mean, I've purchased every Gears of War game, and I didn't buy Gears 5. And I really didn't like Gears 4 too much. But did not even purchase Gears of War 5. And I always buy the whatever the special edition is or whatever.
Yes.
And I didn't even buy this one, and I played it on Game Pass. I couldn't even finish that game. It just
the first act was good.
I don't.
And then
I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. The games seemed to Gears 1, 2, and 3 were amazing.
Yep.
Games.
So is Halo 1, 2, and 3. And
it seems like when they change these teams, it just something the essence of what made those games great was lost. Because you went to the Coalition after Gears 3, and I don't know. It's just that story in Gears of the story they have and sidelining the main characters for these new guys that aren't that likable. I'm not sure where Microsoft goes from here. We're getting Perfect Dark, but I mean that'll probably be 4 years from now, or whatever, before we see that game. 3-4 years. I mean. People seem to be more concerned with the acquisitions and the RDNA 2 talk and the tech talk and all this other stuff. Where are the games? Why are you not making deals with third-party studios to get exclusive games? Even if it's just timed.
Yep.
I mean, I know why they're not doing it, because that doesn't fit with their game.
Exactly.
That's why they're not doing it.
Exactly. That's why they're not doing it. But nobody will admit that Game Pass has a negative aspect to that. But you're right. That's what they should be doing. Like, if they wanted to keep the gamer around, they would have been making deals and partnerships and doing that stuff while their studios in the background were doing it. Just like Sony did in the beginning. PlayStation 4 didn't have a whole bunch of... all these games didn't come out at launch. But they merged with Destiny. They have exclusive content and exclusive betas and stuff. And they made Call of Duty in their bag. They came out with indies and industry darlings. And all these indies were exclusive to their system, that there were just so many that it just brought... Like, Sony pacified their situation while they were making the bangers in the back office. Microsoft should be doing that now. But they're not, because I think... of Game Pass. Like, that's the thing. Like, that doesn't fit in Game Pass. They're not going to partner with Ubisoft's next, like, maybe that's pirate game saying we want this exclusive, or Metro, we want that exclusive, and we want that only in game, because if Microsoft gets an exclusive, it's going into Game Pass, and I don't think anybody wants to just kind of throw themselves in the cemetery just yet. They want to try to make back their money in sales. It's somewhat. They don't just want to go into a service going like, well, that's why the subscriptions, the growth of Game Pass, like, it has to get to a certain number for it to be feasible for a bigger publisher to get bigger games. And that's why when people keep saying the 18 million and the future of Game Pass and stuff, I mentioned this before, it only grew 3 million in a quarter where they launched 2 brand new consoles. They launched xCloud on all Android devices and through EA Play in there, and they only grew 3 million during a pandemic. I don't think they're going to hit those numbers that they want as fast as they want. And look what happened to Mixer when they didn't hit the numbers. So, like, this experiment I don't know if it's going to last. And I would see definitely them merging studios. Those 23 studios are going to be merged together or something like that. Who knows? He might start shutting shit down in 2 years from now before Compulsion even could put out a game. And I don't get it. But like what you said, I just want to go back to what Link said about the whole, like, how Halo and Gears and stuff like that, like Gears 1, 2, and 3 and stuff. And look what they did. The Coalition. Coalition made the Gears 4. 343 made Halo 4. These new studios or these offshoots of studios are not making these games better. They're kind of just holding that candle up and just trying to keep the lights on. So think about that history and think about what we're going to see now with Perfect Dark. A bunch of people together, the guy who drew the 4K horse nuts in 2K, Red Dead Redemption, he's over there. The maitre d' for their brunch from Naughty Dog is over there. The valet that worked over at Insomniac, he moved over to the initiative. The janitor, I heard, got a new job over there from LinkedIn. So they got a ragtag group of people, man, over at the initiative. And they say, make Perfect Dark. Like, what kind of nostalgia is that? If I was going to make a Perfect Dark game and I own Rare, I would put Rare's name associated with Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark brought to you by Rare. Why would you do Perfect Dark brought to you by the Initiative? Who? I remember Perfect Dark. Rare made it. Where's Rare now? Oh, we owned them. Well, why wouldn't you have Rare associated with Perfect Dark? Why would you have Perfect Dark by the Initiative and not Perfect Dark by Rare? Because if you're trying to tug on nostalgia strings, you put Rareware and Perfect Dark together. Why would you put the Initiative with Perfect Dark? That makes no sense. Same thing with Fable. You shut down Lionhead. Man, if I wanted to make a Fable game, I would hunt down that Peter fucking Molyneux. Get your ass over here. I want you associated with the new Fable. Why? Like, that guy made... That's the kind of stuff you do. Those are the smart moves you do if you're really serious about bringing these franchises back. That's why I think they're just placeholders. I think those two games are just games that are just put out there just to pacify you now to stay subscribed to Game Pass. I really am interested to see what those games come to be and when they are even released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they already said, look, I mean, they keep saying it's going to be another 2-3 years before we get these games. And it's like, dude, by the time these games come out, like, do you think Nintendo and do you think Sony's just sitting still doing that?
Right.
No,
like,
they're going to be pumping out. They're already pumping out high quality games. They're not going to stop. So
you see what I'm saying?
They're not stopping. Sony is not stopping. You look at the quality games we're already getting this early in the generation. We were not getting these type of games in the early
last
generation.
Yeah,
we were not. We're getting indie games.
Yeah.
And
think about it. We got Ratchet and Clank coming, God of War, Horizon,
even a game like
Forbidden West,
even a game like Kenna,
Kenna, and Final Fantasy 16, on and on and on. We can keep going on with
Project
the big
Athia.
blockbuster hot. Yep.
Jesus. Like, we saw more stuff with those games than with Ratchet and Clank, with Project Athia, with Final Fantasy 16. We saw more with those games than we've seen with Avowed, Perfect Dark, Fable, anything that they have.
Because all that,
Hellblade,
all that stuff was pre-production. All that stuff was just a concept. If you think any of those games are coming out within the next 24 months, they gotta be smoking. You don't go from being pre-production to finished product ready to launch in 24 months. That just
what
don't
happened
happen.
to Forza? Pre-production. Jesus.
Wait, what about Everwild?
Everwild. There's another one.
God.
We don't know what
they don't even know what that's gonna be.
Did they figure it out? They didn't know in July. Did they figure it out? Yeah, we're in February.
You can't figure it out that fast. And let me tell you something. For people who think Halo Infinite is going to be this dramatically different game this year with 1 year of whatever they're doing to this game in 12 months, don't know shit about game development. You cannot turn the Titanic on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't happen that way. So maybe they've done some tweaks or something. But if this game is still coming to the Xbox One,
It is. They
OG,
confirmed it. They came out because people thought
which we know it is.
they
We
did.
know it is. Let me tell you something. People thinking there's going to be this dramatic change in the way it looks when they showed it off, and what we're actually going to get this fall or winter or whatever are going to be in for a very rude awakening, because this game is not going to. You can't change course that fast like that. It just doesn't happen.
Well, do you hear? And that was a thing that I went crazy about this afternoon, because I heard that interview that they did with the sandbox, because you know it's all about the sandbox now. And then he's talking about weapons and vehicles that they didn't show yet and teasing bullshit. And I'm like, dude, this promotion should have been last year. This game was supposed to be out in November, and you're talking about it like, oh yeah, well there's so many things I still want to show, but I can't show it right now. Again, why do an interview then? Like, the thing is like, what are we doing here? Why are you you showed the game already in July, and it was a friggin' shit show, and it got delayed because of that. All right, people want to say it looked fine to them, that's fine, but something did not look good for it to get delayed a goddamn year. And then, the thing that triggered me the most was that he talked about day one weapons. You've been delayed a year, and you're telling me that the shotgun, the classic Magnum, is not going to be there at launch. You got delayed a year. So what was your content rollout? You're telling me that this game's going to launch this year, a year later, and you're going to launch this game, and you're going to tell me with a straight fucking face, oh, we're going to add more to this game. More weapons are coming. We heard you. It's a games as a service. Are you kidding me? Is this Halo Sea of Thieves?
But they said they had a 10-year plan. You got to spread that content out.
But that's so bullshit. But I'm saying that's not games as a service. You don't give me a skeleton of a game, sell it for $60, and then tell me the rest is coming. That's your service, bitch.
Well, the multiplayer is going to be free to play. So, what were they talking about? Is this single player content or multiplayer content that they were talking about?
That's the other problem. He was talking just in general. They're splitting it. I could see that happen maybe in the free-to-play multiplayer. But he was just saying overall there will be new weapons and vehicles added. He wasn't talking about just multiplayer. I didn't know how that works in single player. Where is this curated story? This escalation of the Reclaimer trilogy. The fight, finish the fight part 2. What is this? Master Chief lands on a Halo ring, and what? You get weapon drops when they announce new updates? Oh, here's the Magnum now. We didn't have it at first, but look, Chief, there's a side mission. You could get your Magnum back. What? How the hell does that work in single player? To me, when I listen to that interview, it sounds like it is a sandbox. That really, they're going to make you do bullshit open world missions, and you just kind of evolve the game and play, almost like a Minecraft. It's a sandbox. It does not sound that this game is going to be this kind of really have these set piece parts where you're going to have this how Halo used to be. You're going to have these set pieces, you're going to get these escalations, you're going to have this amazing story. It sounds like he just crash lands on a ring. And, just exactly what you saw. Go to this place to destroy AA guns, and you might get a cutscene. And then, it just seems so generic. And they sound like, in that interview that I talked about this afternoon, they sound like they're just figuring it out. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll listen to the feedback. We'll let you know about the tweaking and all that other stuff that we do. Just like they're still tweaking the Nasher for Gears 5. 2 years later, they're still tweaking it.
Those visuals, which I don't expect those visuals to change that much.
I don't think so.
They don't look as good as what Halo 5 was, the last Halo game. I feel like Halo 5 looked better than that. And maybe it's because it's open world.
Halo 5, Halo 4, dude.
Yeah, Halo 4
Watch
looks
this.
better than
We're gonna put links. We're
Halo
gonna put
4
links.
360.
Phrase. Yeah, Link. Keep talking because I'm gonna cue this up. We're gonna put Link's statement in factual form right now.
Those visuals were not impressive, and maybe it's because they're trying to render an open world now. You know, maybe they can't put as much detail into the enemies and stuff like that. But those visuals did not look good. It looked like a 360 game.
Yeah.
It did not look good. So,
but see, the fan base instantly started saying, "But Halo's never
look good.
Been a good looker." It's like, again, the problem I have is not demanding better. That's the problem. You gotta demand better.
Here we go. We're gonna put this side by side. Watch this. Here we go, Grinders. Get ready. This is exactly what Link said. Here we go. Side by side. Halo 4 and Halo Infinite. Let's see. If you want to see it at the channel, there it is. I got them both side by side. I know they're small screens, but here's Halo 4 reveal on the right and Halo Infinite on the left. Let's get to when Chief leaves his thing with Dollar Bill Joel.
Now I'm not seeing anything, so I don't know if it's behind or
well, you'll see.
Here we go. I see it now. I see it.
There you go. There's Halo 4 and Halo Infinite. Which one's next gen? I know it's a small screen, so make it bigger, guys. Sorry, I don't want to mess up my windows here. But there you go. Look at the lighting in Halo 4. Look at the atmosphere. Like Halo Infinite, it looks shiny, but it looks empty. It looks desolate. It looks dull. I don't want to go around that world. Like, this is, you don't need no bullshit Digital Foundry to tell me what the hell's going on here.
Exactly.
Like, I don't need some English voice of Richard Ledbetter going, if you see over here, the lightning and I don't need that shit. Look at the tessellation and the shadows of his balls in the wind. I don't need that shit.
Yep.
I got my own two eyes. What's your source material? My two fucking eyeballs.
Yeah.
Look at this shit. Here we go. He's fighting him now. And people are like, why are you bringing up this old-ass demo? It's the only fucking gameplay we got. And that's sad. Yeah, old-ass demo, July 2020. This is what I don't understand, people. I don't understand how this game was supposed to launch in November, and they had nothing. Not even a fucking money reel of anything to show during the holiday or now. Instead, these fuckfaces come out, and they do an interview going, we haven't shown all the weapons yet. What the fuck is wrong with this?
Exactly. That's exactly what you said. This game was supposed to launch November the 10th.
Yeah.
And that game was nowhere near complete. But it could have been a situation where, again, just like they did with the rest of the games, just throw that shit out there and we'll fix it within a year or two, just like we did Sea of Thieves.
That's what it sounds like. That's what it's and if you listen to their interview, you know, I had it on the show earlier. You know, the guy's just like, yeah, well, we got some ones we didn't show you yet. We're gonna have damage to the vehicles. I'm like, you could shoot the Banshee wings off in Halo 2. What are you talking about? Damage to the vehicles?
Yeah.
Like, what are you? Oh, and we're not gonna have these games. And when he said day one weapons, I ran to my computer and hit goddamn record because I'm like, day one weapons. This shit was supposed to come out in November, and we're talking day one weapons. What are we doing here? What is this? The problem is that 343 sucks balls. They're still fixing Master Chief Collection. They can't work on a Halo Infinite. They can't work on Halo Wars 3 because they're still fucking jerking off Halo Master Chief Collection. Let it die. Halo Master Chief Collection is done. Stop it. Stop it. It's done. Whatever you did to it, it's done. It's not going to get fixed. They added some sort of like extra maps or some shit to Halo 3. What are they doing? They added some bullshit to Halo 3 on PC, like a Master Chief Collection. My mind is boggled. I don't even know. Guys, did you hear that? That they did something with, like, they're still doing Master Chief Collection.
Again, it's Microsoft.
I don't get it.
It's Microsoft. Shouldn't shock you. It shouldn't surprise you.
Like, what? Like I just don't understand the thought about this whole. Let's just keep going back and fix old shit. Like, Master Chief Collection's done. That's it. Move on. Oh, we're all doing Halo Infinite now. Like, and then Halo Infinite looks like this. But you're teasing weapons. You're teasing more information to come. Mm-hmm. What does the multiplayer look like? What is this stuff? What is going on? And then we haven't seen any gameplay. Avowed, Forza, we don't even see gameplay for. What are they waiting for? June E3 virtual?
I mean, it really, Microsoft, this is what you want to show us the first time you show this game off, the first time you show off gameplay. And they show that bland ass mayonnaise bullshit gameplay. Like,
because they didn't find nothing wrong with it. They thought it was great. But that tells you everything from the leadership to even some of the devs. Like,
who looked at this and said this is gonna hype up the fan base to get to be ready to play this game with the launch of the Series X? I mean, you know, they spent all this money on marketing. Halo, what did they have? Like, I mean, Master Chief was obviously on the box, but you had all these different marketing deals with, like, Taco Bell and all
and energy drinks and shit like that.
Yes.
But they didn't show any ounce of gameplay or a highlight reel or anything.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, when you think about it, they're not trying to sell this game. So they really don't give a shit. It's going to Game Pass. You play it or you don't. Just sign up for Game Pass. Like, it shows that they don't, their level of care that they're showing to these franchise like Halo.
This is the best.
The biggest franchise.
That built the Xbox and put it on the map. I mean, it got me to sign up for Xbox Live with Halo 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was original Xbox Live. I mean, I got it, you know, as soon as it came out pretty much. And I mean, to see what they're doing here, it's really disappointing. I'm not expecting these new games to just be these huge blockbuster, mind-blowing experiences. I think people need to temper their expectations when it comes to some of these titles that are going to be coming down the road. I'm not expecting these type of experiences that some of these people are telling us we're going to get.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to temper my expectations. I've been doing that all last gen.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, man.
We need some fucking.
Come with it. You talking about the world's most powerful console? Come with it.
I mean,
don't hold back.
A Series
you know what
S over. I'm in a Series, not Series S. Series X, just sitting here. I mean, I do not play this console. I mean, I watch movies on it, stuff like that. But
oh no.
I mean, I don't play any games on it. I might boot up Killer Instinct every now and then, but I don't play this console. And luckily, I didn't actually end up spending any of my own money on it. But the thing is, I would like to use it. I actually would like to play some games on it, but I haven't had anything to play yet.
You know, and that's the truth. And the thing is, too, is like the reason why I was highlighting about Master Chief Collection is that it's been 6 years. Like, it's on PC. You slowly dripped it out, each one trying to make it like a big deal on PC. Like, here comes Halo 2 today, and here comes Halo 3 3 months later. Like, you already milked the shit out of the release of Master Chief Collection on Steam and on PC. Like, it's done. All of it, Halo Reach, all of them are on PC. It's done. Like, what's his name said, like Captain Crunch said, now they're trying to hype up crossplay. Just activate it and move on. The reason why I made the point was like they don't want to work on a new Halo Wars or something else or anything, but they still are just belaboring this making a Master Chief Collection. It's been 6 years. Like, what are you trying to do here? Bleeding Edge wasn't even a year. Crackdown 3 still has 3 fucking maps.
Wait. They didn't add any more maps to that game?
No. Bleeding Edge and Crackdown had 3 maps. That's it. They never added anything to it. They did Keys to the City, and that was it. And that was just for the campaign.
Did they add, what did they add? Where you can play with your friends? Can you play with your friends now?
Oh, they did that a month later. They added the party invite system
what did they add to Battle? They add anything to Battletoads?
No, there's nothing to Battletoads.
Add online to Battletoads?
No.
They did nothing with Battletoads.
No, they did nothing with Battletoads. That wasn't even a promise.
So,
Dahlia Studios made that game. Not even one of their 23 fucking studios. Dahlia Studios.
They don't even. It doesn't seem like they really support these games like they should.
They don't grow. They don't market their games. They don't give a shit about their games, and that's the problem. And then they don't give a shit about them. But they want to fix Master Chief Collection. Like, you're still trying to fix that goddamn game. I'm like, you want to know what the thing is? 343. You should be worried about fixing Halo Infinite. Don't worry about Halo Master Chief Collection. It's done. That was somebody else's goods that you're trying to milk your ass off of. You're not going to
bring any. Whatever else you do to that game is not going to bring any more users.
Exactly. It's over, man. It's done. You put them all on.
It's done.
Halo 5 is the only one that people want. That's it. And then they got the whole collection on PC. Like, that's it.
I bought that game. I bought Master Chief Collection.
I bought it on Steam. I bought it. That's where I played it.
Completely broken. And
I bought it at launch broken, on Xbox.
So, yeah, and I went back to it and played it once they said they actually fixed it years later.
Dude, we're talking years, man.
It was too late. It was too late.
When the hell did Master Chief Collection launch? Like, this is like, and that was one of their excuses about like why they weren't making a
2014, 2015. Yeah.
Master Chief Collection launched. Let's see.
It originally launched like in 2015 or 2014. One of them.
2014.
2014.
Yeah. Yep.
2014.
7 years.
When did they actually fix it? When did they actually fix the game?
They've been riding the coattails off of all the previous old Halos for 8 years now.
Mm-hmm. It's but you know what? When is Halo going to get the God of War treatment where you take this franchise and completely
It won't.
Well, that was supposed to be Halo Infinite.
It won't.
Man.
They're not.
No, that was supposed to be Halo 5.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean the multiplayer.
They won't do it. Microsoft they don't have what it takes to do.
They don't have the passion, and they haven't cultivated. This is the deal. Look at what Sony has done. They work with studios, right? That they did not own, that made games for their platform. They form a symbiotic relationship, and then they acquired it, bring these studios into the fold. I mean, look what they did with a studio like Insomniac. And Microsoft just has this approach. We're just going to buy everything, but
where are the games from what they're buying? Where's Compulsion's game? Dude, where's Compulsion's game? That should have been out already. Hellblade 2 was announced and shown in CGI bullshit in 2019. They've shown a picture 2 years later of her.
That game is a wild. That game is pretty far off because they said they're going to port that over to Unreal 5, which doesn't even come out till the end of 2021.
But it was announced in 2019.
Even if the game's not coming soon, we should have seen some gameplay, something.
You think? Yeah.
I mean, we're not seeing anything. And I'm not talking about CGI trailers because I don't care about CGI trailers at all. That Hellblade trailer, I don't care what feels.
No, it wasn't real. They already did.
That was CGI. It ran at 24 FPS, just like a video. It was not gameplay, and that wasn't even in engine. I believe that was CGI. I don't believe that was gameplay. So,
was definitely CGI.
Well,
you know, but
they're saying, well,
No, it was CGI. It was
they
based.
such as the
I got the
fanboys,
quote
right?
from them. The guy's like, "This is smoke and mirrors," he said.
it's
Listen,
a smoke and mirrors.
they do this every time. The Xbox fanboys, they'll take some CGI, hype it like it's actual gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
and then when it comes out and
Mm-hmm.
the real game looks like dog shit, then they'll turn around and say, "Oh, that wasn't CGI. That was, we never said that wasn't CGI. That was,
Oh,
they'll
and then
they'll do the reverse."
and when the Sony game, when they show actual gameplay, they swear it's CGI. It's not real. It's downgraded.
Yeah.
They said Ghost of Tsushima's gameplay when they showed it off, it wasn't real.
Yep.
God of War.
Hey, if you
The
guys
Last
want to
of Us
go
Part
back and
2.
listen, I got it right here.
Consoles will be able to
There
show.
it is.
But the level of the perfection of that geometric detail in terms of going into the distance, even given the constraints of 24 FPS and sub 4K, that just seems really unrealistic to me. I've yet to read about perfectly invisible LOD transitions being a thing. As to the rest of the visual fidelity put forth in terms of lighting or effects, it is indeed a healthy step above that seen in the previous game and many games in the last generation. But we need much more footage before we start seeing what type of techniques we are looking at and how dynamic they may or may not be. Trailers and cinematics are even better smoke and mirror shows than games themselves. And if this trailer just ends up being a bit of pre-rendered smoke, what rendering aspects of it are actually attainable all the time in a real game still need to be proven. Basically, this trailer looks nice but says extremely little. That is a bit of a downer, but it is good to be skeptical, managing expectations regarding next-gen. If anything, this trailer shows us that next-gen assets are going to be authored to an incredible level of detail at least.
That trailer shows nothing about the game. So anyway, sorry. I just want to. We're gonna squash that right now, Jada. Before you get into the whole thing that they're talking that's real gameplay. It's not.
That's
It's
not
24
real.
frames per second, and that was the last time we saw anything about it. Was 2019.
That game, Hellblade. First of all, it launched on PS4 first, and it came to the Xbox. They didn't even buy that game on Xbox.
Called it a walking simulator when it was on
They didn't-
PlayStation.
Exactly, and they didn't buy it when it came to the Xbox because the sales of the game were not great. Overall, it wasn't spectacular, and it didn't sell worth of nothing on Xbox. So they don't play those type of games. So why are they hyping up something they're not going to play? They're not going to buy this game. Oh, but they don't really buy games because I guess they have Game Pass. But
Let's face it. They just want a one up on PlayStation. That's all.
I tell you, they're waiting for that slow clap, man. They're waiting for that celebration, and you know what? And when it happens, congratulations, and I get to play a great game. But the thing is that until then, the narrative doesn't change. Like, this is the thing. They don't have games. Now, it's even worse they don't have games because they're sitting on 23 studios. We don't know what the hell those games are going to be. They showed you a logo. They showed you what they think a game is going to be. But yet to see the game. And you want to know what? If they're going to do what they did to Halo Infinite, their best of the best, the creme de la creme, and they thought that gameplay in July was a representation of the best, fuck everything else. I think all of it's going to go to shit.
That's where I'm at. That's what you just said. Exactly where I'm at with this. If you treat your best franchise, if you treat, that's just like Naughty Dog treating like The Last of Us or Uncharted without care, right? They just throw their shit out there and just let it be crap and don't care. Mm-hmm. What does that say about the studio? What does that say about the company?
Exactly. That's a.
You can tell one company takes pride and care with its product, and the other just throw their shit out. Like, it's kind of like they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly. And then when they do their interview, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll get feedback and we'll evolve the game over time. It's a service game. It's like, you can't do that to Halo, man. First off, Halo has been a story-driven game. You were just pivoting this whole game at the culmination. Remember the hype of Halo 3? Finish the fight. This is the final battle.
Yep.
This is the Reclaimer trilogy. He is in the battle of Cortana. Cortana it has gone rampant, and this is the ultimate face-off. Chief versus Katana. This should have been set pieces, fighting Guardians, all this other stuff. Instead, the son of a bitch lands on a desolated planet with some unknown bullshit guy to go shoot AA guns and fight people that look like Halo 1 because they went back to original aesthetics and have no emotions, and the brutes went to goddamn friggin' Harry's blades and got cut, and now they're basically smooth as a baby's ass.
They
went for a shave. The goddamn brutes.
Halo 2 trailer was more epic than that.
Oh my god, those brutes look horrible. They look like they can sell dolls. I bet you they bought them because they're gonna sell dolls.
You know, at the end of that trailer, when they showed off the guy, I don't remember what his name is. The brute. I guess who's gonna be the bad guy for the.
That smudge.
Yeah, I mean I'm telling you, that looked like an Xbox 360 character, from the stiffness of the face to the lack of detail in that character. There's no way you should have been proud of that on the world's most powerful console, which it was running on the PC spec'd out to what a Series X would be.
Oh, damn.
But still,
it's even worse.
On the world's most powerful console, you should be able to do better.
I know. And it's just like, the thing is that I titled this thing is Better Call Phil. Just like Saul Goodman, we got Phil Goodman. He wants you just to feel good about him. That's the thing. Like, he has all these studios. They got all these games that they just showed logos to, and they just constantly tease and talk about what's coming. We're going to buy more studios. I think you got your hands full right now. And my problem with 343 and the whole thing with this thing was that this was their quote. And this is why I brought it up to this thing, is saying that 343 Publishing has no shortage of ideas and inspiration to pursue Master Chief Collection and plenty of ongoing work to support the Halo franchise. Meanwhile, the majority of the studio is focused on working towards Halo Infinite's launch. And you may have heard, the launch is only the beginning. Oh shit. Given the broader impact initiatives the studio is already committed to, we unfortunately can't devote the time and attention needed to deliver additional updates and content for the Halo Wars franchise. Mm-hmm. Given the broader impact initiatives, that's probably putting all their bullshit on PC, the studio is already committed to, we unfortunately can't devote the time and attention. 500 people getting brunch to add a new franchise to Halo Wars. Nonetheless, Halo Wars, remember the hype for using a keyboard and mouse on Xbox? Halo Wars?
I got a question. Have you ever seen any gameplay footage uploaded to YouTube, Twitter, or anything by these Microsoft fans? Or
you can't upload to
Xbox
YouTube from the
fans?
Console. That's another thing you can't do.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
By the Xbox fans showing off some Halo Wars gameplay, or even Gears Tactics, or any really Microsoft first-party game that's been released in the last. They don't play games, so I don't know. I mean,
well, they're counting
that game probably
transistors now and chips, and that's a W.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess.
they're experts on looking at a chip, the design of a chip, and telling you why it's not. Aren't they still trying to say it's not RDNA 2 or something?
Yeah. They're out there saying it's RDNA 1 and all kind of. I mean,
well, if it's RDNA 1, it's some good RDNA 1 because it's kicking butt. So. Compared to what the performance they're getting out of that Xbox. Well, so
did everybody play the what is it? Hitman 3 because it looked a little bit better if it didn't have the bushes. Like the thing is that these differences are going to be so visually marginal. Like I even question the existence of Digital Foundry. They're using goddamn monocles to find this bullshit and slow motion and all that other stuff. The difference is I'm gonna say it right. Actually, I'm gonna let Gordon Ramsay. Goddamn it!
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
I got him right there. Enough from me. The games are doing the talking. Like that's the thing. If Microsoft
anytime you have
a game to show, oh sorry Jay, I'm gonna say Microsoft don't have a game to show what this little chips and all this such shit does, it's useless.
Yep.
Sorry, Jay, what are you gonna
Total
say?
usage.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, anytime you have to zoom in 400% to pixel peep, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and this is for anybody. If you let Digital Foundry make your
Mm-hmm.
make choice for you,
Mm-hmm.
that's a you problem as a
We got
gamer.
issues.
That's your problem. But
Can
when it comes to console war and stuff like
mm-hmm.
that, the only reason the PlayStation dudes even bring this stuff up and gloat and stuff is because it's the Xbox fanboys
The
and
world's most
with
powerful.
Phil Spencer and Microsoft that constantly goes out on a limb talking about power, 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 like it's the last thing, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's the last word.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying we'll let our games do the talking, because obviously according to NPD, according to sales, according to um
Mm-hmm.
the stat that shows that these games are the most completed games, they're the
Mm-hmm.
most played games
Mm-hmm.
consistently. Um, the numbers don't lie. So you can say you have the power, 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 but it hasn't manifested itself in 2 generations. So how far are you going to keep going with it? Eventually, people have to wise up and say, "Look, man,
Yeah.
shut up about the power. We're
Well,
getting our ass kicked."
what they were banking on, and I noticed exactly what they were doing, is that they were saying, well, we don't have the exclusive, right? We don't have the exclusive games or the quality exclusives that Sony has. So we really can't compete. They know they really can't compete there. But what they were banking on, they say, well, most people play most multiplayer games for the most part, and we're gonna have the best versions of the multiplats. I kept hearing that,
Uh-huh.
and I remember hearing this talk before these consoles launched. Digital Foundry, and all these Xbox fanboys that were so sure that the Xbox Series X was gonna wipe the floor with the PlayStation because it had more teraflops. And I just sat back and said, I don't know, guys. I mean, we need to just sit back and wait until these games actually come out. And now they don't even have that. They don't even have that was their last leg to stand on. They don't even have that. So like what do they do now? They start attacking price, $70 games. And
Yep.
I mean they're literally running out of ammunition. They're running out of things to attack when it comes to Sony. I mean, it's like they're taking games like Destruction All Stars and Godfall, right? Who those games didn't score the greatest, and they're taking those games and saying, well, hey, we got a game like The Medium that scored a little higher, but didn't score a fantastic Metacritic or where I didn't care about Metacritic, but they're trying to compare. But this is what they're losing sight of. Those are not. They're comparing what all they have versus a few titles when Sony has quite a few quality titles that they've put out since the PS5 launch that are really good games like Miles Morales and Demon Souls. So, but they don't bring those games up. So they're not going to do that. They're not going to compare Demon Souls to the Medium.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. They're going to compare the Medium to something like Destruction All Stars, or something like Godfall. That's not a fair comparison when you can say, okay, over here on Xbox, this is all I have is Medium, Falconeer, stuff like that. Well, I got big blockbuster AAA titles launching with this new console where you didn't get this on Xbox. So it's like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? I don't.
Well,
it's silly.
You make a good point, and the fact is, I saw it also too with the backwards compatibility, like playing Control, playing God of War, playing this stuff, and it's like, yeah, I beat Miles Morales. I'm playing through Demon Souls. Oh, let me dab in God of War. Let me do Ghost of Tsushima. Like, but when all you have is backwards compatibility. And that's kind of what the whole mind frame of that Xbox was like play your old games better without delivering any new games or new games worth a damn. And I think you said it the best. And the fact is, like, when you're showing all you have versus a little bit of what the competition has, that's a fail right there. Like, you're not going 1-for-1 because that's all you have. And
Exactly.
that's the thing. Like you can't do that stuff. That's why the thing is that Microsoft needs to shut everybody up. They need to shut up and just show the games running on their system. And I don't understand this. It's the most simplest thing in the world. Hell, just show some games that look amazing. Market them. Don't shoot sons of bitches out of fucking cannons. Don't do an escape room at Major Nelson with a goddamn tie-dye shirt on, jumping around like a bitch. We don't need inside Xbox episodes where Major Nelson is looking at the tweet table and he has guests and talking heads and nobody's showing games. We don't need all that. Just show games and show them running and playing well and tell a story. Market your shit.
Everything that comes out is not going to be an 85, 90 plus.
No, it's not.
Game.
Not if it's Sony either.
That's not going to happen. But the problem is when you're only getting mediocre titles and that's all you're getting.
But that's the future.
Spotlight gets
that's a problem.
A game like Medium was propped up to be the first next gen only Xbox game. Okay. And so when you're putting all that pressure on a game like that, the microscope is going to be on that game. The microscope is not on a game like Destruction All-Stars or even a game like Godfall because there are other titles. Those games are sandwiched in between big games. But with Xbox, you're just getting mediocre games. That's all you're getting. It's just mediocre filler games. I mean, nothing against Team Bloober or whoever they are, but
boogers.
That game, and I played it, I'm not going to lie. I put about 2 hours into it, and I swear I was going into a coma. I started getting sleepy. I had to turn it off. And I want to go back and give it another try, but it did almost put me to sleep. And, it wouldn't be so bad if they were also giving us good quality games, but we're not getting that. So you kind of just have to take if you're a primarily Xbox owner and you don't have a PlayStation, you're going to just be fed this mediocre mid default stuff.
Again,
I don't know how you can be a real gamer and not have a PlayStation. If you really like gaming, I don't see how you couldn't have one.
I agree.
You're denying yourself that stuff, and it's one of those things that I came to that realization because I in 2016, I bought a PC going like, hey, Phil said, I tried to give myself a 1X before the 1X came out by doing a PC. And when he said that 1X was going to be $500, I said, I'm not doing this again, Phil. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to go buy a PlayStation and I want to see what's over there because I'm not going to buy another $500 machine to play the same games again. And I went and I bought a PlayStation 4 and I played Uncharted 4 and I took a look at my Xbox and I said, I'm waiting. Like, you never give me that kind of experience that I had on the PlayStation 4 with that Uncharted 4 game. And then I kept going. I kept playing more and more games. And every game I played, and exclusive games, and then saw all these extra games that were in the PlayStation Marketplace that didn't even see the light of day on Xbox. Dragon Quest, Yakuza. I'm talking about 2016. Now that you're getting them now in 2021. I'm playing them in 2016. And I was like, holy shit, like, what's going on? Like, wow. I'm like, man. And I was pissed at myself for believing in Xbox all those years and denying myself because I was trusting in that Xbox that they were going to deliver that kind of stuff and not knowing what I deprived myself of. And then I was like, you know what? Never again. I'm opening my eyes. My eyes were open to better games and better experiences. And it wasn't tied to a platform and Phil. That wasn't the answer. Just because they tweet and they say nice and Major Nelson has a show, that's not enough to justify the lack of content and the direction that they're going in. And they just kept chipping away at that install base. And I was just like, what's going on anymore? And then when they threw all their games in Game Pass, I was the first person. I was back on Planet Xbox and I was like, I don't like this. And they're like, why? This is great. I'm like, but what does this say for the future of their first party? If it's all going to go into a subscription, it's going to be compromised as such. No, it's not. Okay. Dude, I don't know. Like, the thing is that you're right. If you believe in games, you will not be subscribing for $15 a month or even a box of Pop-Tarts to sit here and wait years to figure out what a game is. And then on top of that, the way they're talking about Halo Infinite, just to bring it back to that, That sounds like this is not going to be the all-encumbering Halo on day one. And the fact is that they got the legacy weapons. Like the guy said in the interview, he goes, oh, we got to find the right spot and place and time to launch these legacy weapons. And I'm like, how about the launch of the goddamn game? What the hell are you talking about, find the right time? What, in February or March of the following year? Well, you don't have time, and that's the whole point of this thing. People think they got all these, the games are coming years from now. The thing is like, you know what gaming is going to look like. 3 years ago, Fortnite wasn't even on the map. It was PUBG and Aaron Greenberg running around with a fucking frying pan. All about PUBG. Fortnite was a twinkle in an eye. We were laughing about it in 2017. Now it's world dominance. So tell me, in 2 years from now, when Microsoft is good and ready to start having their games come out, what the hell is the gaming industry going to be then? Oh, look, we got a good Perfect Dark game. 4,000 people give a shit. The rest of them are gone. They think that you washed up. You're losing people with every passing day. Every day Sony drops a game. Every time Nintendo drops something. You're losing mind share. Developer mind share. Gamers mind share. You don't have time, Microsoft. You don't have time. Because by the time you get your shit together, nobody's going to give a fuck about your existence.
No, because the train ain't stopping over there at Sony. It's just not going to stop.
Not.
And for people to think that what Microsoft also isn't realizing is by the time they start dropping these exclusive games that they're working on, they may be so far behind that it won't even matter.
Exactly.
You know, and
that's what's going to happen. I mean, because it's already at a point now where people have already checked out, right? You launch 2 consoles, your shit wasn't ready, you claim it's not ready, your game wasn't ready, people have to wait a whole nother year to get a game. Like, man, I just can't see how people just sit there and just take it without moving on.
I saw somebody say when Medium came out, they go, oh, I'm glad we got that out of the way. I'm like, well, what's next? Every time a shitty game came out, Bleeding Edge, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm glad that came out. I'm glad that's out of the way now. Dude, when everything is out of the way, when everything is like, every time somebody says, like, I wasn't going to buy it, but I'm like, stop right there. I wasn't going to buy it, but it's in Game Pass. I'm like, the fact that you didn't want to buy it is evidence that that game, that they don't know what the hell they're doing with games. Like, they should make you want. They're not pulling people from Nintendo and Sony. And people will be like, well, why does Microsoft have to do that? And the thing is that because guess what? If Sony is making all these games, then the thing is that Microsoft, if they're not putting pressure on Sony, Sony might just delay shit just because they can. They don't need to load up this holiday with God of War and Horizon when they delay a Halo or when they push out all these games. Sony don't need to. They could be like, hey, you know what? We'll milk it. Delay God of War for another 6 months. We don't need it right now. Microsoft's not doing anything. We're riding high. And we might get less games a year because the competition's not putting there. But if Microsoft's like, shit, Sony, here's Fable, banger. Here's Halo, a banger. Here's Avowed, a banger. Coming out October, November, December. Eat that shit. Sony's going to be like, oh, fuck. All right. Unleash the Kraken. I want God of War in the holiday. And we're sitting there as gamers going, oh, shit, what do I play next? Man, I remember when Halo 3 and Metal Gear Solid 4 came out. It was like the Battle of the Titans. We're like, oh, shit. Everybody got their banger. They got their prize fighter. Who's good? And we're sitting there as gamers going, well, I got games everywhere.
Listen, Microsoft stopped competing last generation. They gave up. They stopped making games. They stopped investing in gaming. And they gave up. But guess what? People say, I hear this all the time. They say, you know, if Microsoft isn't competing with Sony, Sony's going to get lazy. And Microsoft, I don't think anything, the moves that they're making or the games that they're putting out, the quality or anything is affected by whatever bullshit decision Microsoft is making over there. Like, I think they're beyond.
Well, right now, but I think if it keeps going on, though.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think Sony cares what Microsoft is doing because because think about it, right? Sony did I don't Microsoft entered gaming in the PS2 era a little bit after the PS2 launch. Sony had already kind of hit a stride at that point. So I don't think the PS1, great console, great games, great exclusive. Then you go over to the PS2, they continue the trend. I don't think the train already been rolling when it comes to Sony. So I really don't think what Microsoft is doing or isn't doing is really going to affect what Sony is doing. I think Sony's developers themselves are very competitive, and because they're not competing against what Microsoft is doing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I just don't buy that as a real argument that somehow gaming is going to decline if Microsoft isn't competing, because they quit a long time ago. Microsoft quit. They start putting all their stuff on PC. They quit making exclusive titles. They quit. Now they're trying to invest now, but I really feel like they're only doing it because they're trying to get a bunch of people on this service, right?
Yeah.
And then once they get you on this service, they can start increasing the price. And they can start making money. And that's all. At the end of the day, these companies want to make money. I understand.
Of course, both of them
are about making money. But it does seem as though Sony is also trying to please their fan base too. They're not just trying to make money. And people who are sitting here and saying, "Oh, Microsoft made so many billions of dollars this last quarter," you should be ashamed of yourself for praising them for making all this money and not giving you shit.
That's right.
So I'm just over it at this point. Like, if they come out with something, great, but I'm not expecting them to do anything. Like, I'm not expecting them to do anything. Hope they surprise me, but if they don't, then so be it. I got a PlayStation, so I don't play on PC. I don't give a fuck about PC. I built a PC a long time ago to play games on it, but then it just felt weird to play a video game on a PC. Like, I don't know. I just don't care about PC. So
yeah,
I really would prefer that Sony doesn't embrace PC like they're talking about doing. But as far as Microsoft, I fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is at this point. They've given up, so I'm giving up on them. And if they show me that they can bring out some good titles, I'll play those titles. I'll buy them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't care.
exactly. Or subscribe and play them, or Peekaboo Gaming. Like,
no.
That's the one
thing.
If
it's a good title, I'll purchase it.
I'll buy it. Yeah, like, I want to buy Halo Infinite, and that's like, but I better see. It better be that no Sea of Thieves bullshit where it's like, hey, we're launching with 5 weapons. More to come later on. Here's some only 2 vehicles. Here's a bunch of missions, but we're gonna add more as we go on because it's the games as a service. And no, man.
But they are so quick to abandon something if it's not working.
That's the next, yeah.
They abandon it. They cancel games. They abandon titles when people aren't supporting them. They don't give you sequels. They only give you sequels to Halo, Gears, and Forza. You don't get sequels to any new IP that does come to Xbox. You don't get a sequel.
No.
Uncharted 1 was a good game, but it wasn't. It didn't really catch my attention like that when it first came out. Really, honestly, I was like, okay, it's pretty. But then Uncharted 2 came out, and they stepped it up to a whole nother level.
Supposed to have.
Microsoft is not giving their developers a chance to evolve these IPs, which a lot of them they don't own. But when you don't do a sequel, how can you improve on? How do you really know that the fan base doesn't want this?
Well, that's why I'm interested to see Hellblade 2. Like, because that's the only one that kind of like taking. However, back to when Booty was clapping, he said if Hellblade 2 was the same thing as Hellblade 1, that will be a success. And I'm like, because that don't sound like you. And also when they were describing Hellblade 2, the guy's like, we like to stay small and doing this stuff. And it's like, that doesn't sound like the Microsoft money taking Hellblade and blowing it up into like an Uncharted, from an Uncharted 1 to an Uncharted 2. It sounds like we're going to do some things. It might look a little better, but it's going to be about the same kind of experience, and I hope it's not that, because I liked Hellblade. But like they're not given this perception that they're buying these little studios and they're turning them into blockbuster studios. It sounds like they're buying these little studios and they say, you make passion projects, just make enough games for Game Pass so like we can continue subscribing people to show that we got games in Game Pass. And I think that's what it is. They like that, Bleeding Edge had no purpose, just to be an announcement for February for Game Pass fodder. That was all it was, just a game, a word to be announced. They had no future. It had no DLC plan. They had nothing. Gears 5 is another example of a game that they really only just jerked off the fucking Nasher for a whole year. They really never added shit ton of maps to it. Like, I go back to Gears 5, and I'm playing on the same train yard map. They must have added about 5 maps in Gears 5 in 2 years. And they finally added DLC to it 2 years later.
What do they got, like, don't they sell animations or kill animations?
Oh, yeah,
like
kill animations, the Terminator. They put wrestlers in it that you can pay $15 for, but you get them free in Game Pass.
They treated that game like it was a free-to-play game, but it was a $60 game.
Dude, and the suck that the skins that were free in Gears 4, they charged $5 for all you had to earn them by playing a bunch of bullshit modes to get it. And because they gave them superpowers for escape mode, which nobody played. Like, the thing is like, the thing is like, even Obsidian's game, you know, that other game, the one that's in early access, Grounded, they just added bees and mosquitoes to it last week. Bees and mosquitoes. They added as content.
They added some more bugs.
They added some more bugs to Grounded, because it was missing bees and mosquitoes. So they added that.
Did the Kraken ever get a body?
No, he didn't. Not with the power of the 12 teraflops, the RDNA 3, Phil's DNA in their eyes. Kraken still is lacking and has a bunch of 5C dicks in the air. I'm still hunting for him in CFDs. I need to spot these C dicks because that's all he is. He's no body. He's a bunch of flapping dicks in the air. But all the power, you think they would draw in the fucking Kraken, right? After all these years, you think that one of the content drops would be like, yo, the Kraken comes out of the sea. Holy shit.
Honestly,
imagine that update.
As long as Phil Spencer is in charge of the Xbox game, whatever he's in charge of, I mean, he's got to go.
Yo, you got to go.
I mean,
you got to go. Take Satya with his ass and take his dirty ass, hairy, smelly ass booty with him. Booty, I don't know what the hell that guy does. Phil Spencer goes around like a goddamn pimp on all these interviews saying stupid bullshit, and meanwhile, Booty, who's running these things, doesn't say anything. Booty's the one that should be talking, not Phil.
Does Phil listen to his own interviews? Because he contradicts himself so much.
He don't give a shit. He goes out there, he finesses everybody. He don't fucking care. All he wants to do is get people to the cloud, and if he smiles and shows them a glimmer of his eye, people, you know, it's like when you watch the concerts and all the people in the front row, the girls are crying, collapsing. Oh my God, my favorite singer. That's when Phil gets on stage and he does an interview. That's why they don't got Booty. Booty doesn't have that star power. Phil looks into the camera and you see a glimmer in his eye, and Xbox fans drop their pants all over the world. And that's what happens. It's disgusting, but that's the truth. Goddamn, Phil Spencer gives them a glimmer in the eye and the pants drop. He's the panty dropper Phil. God damn it, panty dropper Phil. So anyway, Feel Goodman, we're going to wrap this up. It has been an amazing show of the Gaming Grindhouse. Thank you so much, J-Dubs and Link, for jumping in. Buddy Cat says Bad Booty makes the coffee at Microsoft. But as we close, J-Dub, where can people find you all over the internet?
Yeah, you guys can find me at JDubCity16. You can also find me on YouTube, streaming games at JDubForYou.
Thank you. And Link, where can they find you?
Well, I doubt you'll be able to find me. So
he's lurking.
Yeah, I just kind of hop in here or there, a few podcasts.
I appreciate it, man. Awesome.
I'm really not a Twitter type. I'm on Twitter. I mean, I go in there and look a little bit, but I don't really tweet. I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm not interested in starting one. But, you know, thanks for giving me the opportunity to hop on here. and share my opinion. You know what I mean? And it was a really good show.
Hey man, I appreciate it, man. That's everybody has to let it out, man. It is what it is. It's the Grindhouse. You gotta let it out, man. It's frustrating bullshit, and it's just, you know, the sad thing is just watching a demise of just this pivoting thing, like, you know, and it is what it is. Like, you know, Sony just keeps giving the games, and, you know, as long as they keep giving games, like, you know, they get an A in my book, and, you know, I'm playing new experiences and shit like that. Like this, you know, we could complain about it, and we do, you know, bring up some of those things, but still, it's just watching the pivoting, and it's like watching, you know, like it's just like a horrible thing happening, and it's just like you have that whiplash. You're like, I just can't believe what's going on over there. Like, what the hell are they doing? What is going on? But anyway, this has been another Gaming Grindhouse, episode 6. I guess Frog, I'll talk to him, see what happened. I hope he's okay. But anyway, he must have fell asleep. But anyway, I want to thank everybody. Shout out to all the grinders in the chat. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Sorry, I didn't mean to finesse you by hitting the subscribe button thinking the pop-up would work, but damn, my friggin' alerts weren't working. We had some technical difficulties. I will delete that video of the chipmunks. I don't know what the hell that was, but this is the stream to share and to like. But thank you very much. Pug says Jim Ramsey, and I'm going to leave everybody with the last quote, and the only quote that should matter ever for gaming. Hit it, Gordon Ramsay. Jim Ryan.
Enough from me. We're going to have the games do our talking.
And we are